Welcome to the end of the year wrap up for 2022 on the Wasted Potential podcast.
Ooh.
Yeah. Woo, fuck yeah.
It's already 2023. We're late.
We did it. We made it through another apocalypse. It's funny how it's a new year, but really you're starting to see that things just don't change. Like, I feel like 2022 was kind of a big year. Like, Hollywood is, like, actively imploding in front of us, which is kind of fun. And not, like, Hollywood in general, but, like, big Hollywood is just, like, turning into a black hole, and it's just sucking itself into oblivion with these Marvel movies and Disney. Like, even God. Disney can't figure it out. It's awesome. We lost Ye again. We got him back for a little bit and promptly lost him again to the Nazi party.
What is this? We're 30 seconds in. You didn't mention Nazis. Oh, perfect. It can't be
I said we lost someone to them.
Welcome to Wasted Potential podcast.
Say we lost an artist and gained a friend or some shit like that. Biden's still a hologram.
No, he's not a hologram. He's like it's a small world, like robotics of Disneyland era of like it doesn't really operate properly. It's not like a
his teleprompter is just like that predictive text.
Oh yeah.
App. Also, I'm normally pretty negative about movies, and to be honest, I had to cram a lot of these in on the end because just throughout the year I've been super busy and I just watch what I have to watch for the podcast. And then I finally just for the past 2 weeks have just been cramming all these big movies, and I was dreading it. And I'm actually really happy. Some of these movies are now some of my favorite movies that I've ever seen now.
Yay!
So thank you 2022. We'll get into what those are. Studio 66. And some movies were god-awful, Studio 666. Ronnie, what did you think about 2022?
This is my favorite podcast of the year because we usually just focus on terrible, terrible movies and we have to grind through, but I've been watching, I've seen 70 movies this year, 70 new movies, so it was hard for me to kind of go through and pick my favorites, and I think I mostly stuck to favorites. There's a few ones in between there that are kind of stinkers that we'll talk about, but mostly pick some good ones. So this isn't our top 10 lists. We don't do top 10 lists, but we're picking movies that we could talk about, that we each said, hey, this is something I like, let's talk about this. There's tons of movies that I really can't say much. Like, for example, one of my favorite ones was Everything Everywhere All at Once, but everyone loves that movie, so why bother talking about it? Everyone's seen it. It's really good, but I can't say anything that hasn't been said about it before. So we kind of pick movies that are kind of up our alley, that we kind of can argue about or just make fun of and kind of also enjoy. So this is what it is. This is our favorite one. Sorry it's late. Shane's been busy.
It's going to be long.
I've been sick. We put this back because I'm sick, so we're already in 2023, but whatever. We don't care. We have some big things coming up. It's going to be an exciting year. I'm excited. Shane, I want to start us off with our first film.
I would love to. The first film we're going to talk about, and I'm just going to preface it, might be my favorite film of the year. I have a couple that are really big, but this one just I keep thinking about it. So the movie that we're going to talk about is A Journey to Valhalla. And a story about Hamlet. It's about a boy and a dog and his journey to kill his uncle and not fuck his mom. The Northman by one of my favorite directors, and I think one of Ronnie's favorite, Robert Eggers.
Fate has no mercy.
Yeah.
God, I love that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This is a revenge film, plain and simple. It's
Yeah.
it's an old Nordic tale that's just being repurposed and made beautifully, perfectly, almost in a way of just like visual and absolute insanity.
It is so grounded, yet shot so artsy and beautiful, yet perfectly acted. Dialogue is perfect. I can't think of a negative to say about this film. I was just entranced the entire time, and it drew me in. Like, oh, I have a passing knowledge of Vikings and like a little bit of like knowledge of Norse mythology, like very surface level, and I've never been really interested. After this, I immediately downloaded a book that I'm going to read on Norse mythology because I was like, this is fucking tight.
What's the book called?
Norse mythology.
By Neil Gaiman?
I don't know. I'm going to have to look at it.
Oh, well, Neil Gaiman, one of my favorite authors, does a really good book about Norse mythology, so check that out. But, sorry, tangent.
I'll make sure of that. Yeah. Ronnie, you want to describe... You kind of described it. It's a revenge flick, but for the dumb people that are on here listening to us smart people talk about movies, who is Robert Eggers?
Robert Eggers is my favorite visual director. He made The Witch, which is one of my favorite horror films, which you've never seen, which... I don't think you'll like it. It's slow. It's very slow, and it doesn't have much going on.
I'm okay with slow. There just has to be something interesting in why it's slow. You know.
It's short, so maybe you'll like it. But that's one of my favorite movies. It's my favorite of his movies. Still, I think this is my second. The Lighthouse is one of your favorites. My only problem with The Lighthouse is I hate this saying, and I don't say it a lot. It's more style over substance because it's very simple, but I think that's just what he does. He takes simple stories and elevates them to high art, so I think I just need to understand that about him. But he's my favorite director. He spends all his money and time on the visuals and making beautiful films, and this is like the most manliest movie ever, given the art house treatment of visual storytelling and naked man bodies and just,
but not in a gay way.
in the most masculine gay way possible. But it's violent. It's the most accessible film because The Witch is hard to recommend to people, and The Lighthouse is just two guys farting and yelling at each other. But this one is it's basically Hamlet, but Hamlet was stolen from these old Norse tales because Shakespeare stole everything. So it's a very simple story, but the visuals are beautiful. It's perfectly acted and executed. So I saw it back in March, and I still think about it all the time. All the visuals and just the men screaming. It's so masculine, and it's great. But there's only one scene I didn't really. I was like, that's a little too much for me. It was when Alexander Skarsgård, when he's basically saying the plot. I can't kill my uncle until it's moonlight, otherwise the sword won't work. But once again, it's
but that's
a Norse tale.
Part of that mythology.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there's always some weird, like even in Greek mythology, any mythology story, there's some weird like trope or something that makes it have to happen a certain way.
Well, all tragedies have to also be kind of like not reflective, but also kind of self-aware of like, oh, I'm talking. Like there's always these long soliloquies, which is fine. I think I accepted it. The only other thing that kind of bothered me is I don't believe that Nicole Kidman is his mother.
No.
But once again, that's just a silly little thing.
She acted just fine.
No. She's a famous, a
really
great
good
actress, but come on.
Yeah.
They look the same age.
Let's just get this out of the way. My favorite part of 2022, the discovery of Anya Taylor-Joy. Oh my God.
She
is a wonderful actress and very, very good looking.
Yes. She's in. I discovered her in The Witch. She's great in The Witch. That's like her claim to fame. Then she did The Queen's Gambit. So she's in a lot of things. She's really great. But it's those eyes. She's very piercing eyes. But yeah, The Northman I think is. If not, I think it's never agreed favorite, but it's up there for like I don't like action, but this is a perfect like action mythology adventure thing. It's great.
I'll just end with this. You showed me the trailer and it's Robert Eggers is doing an action film, and I was like, oh my god, like I'm in. And then I got a little worried. I even told my wife, I was like, I don't know if I want to watch with you because I have a feeling no one's gonna talk this entire time. It's just gonna be grunts and like this weird like journey. Mm-hmm. And then I watched it and I was like, fuck, I don't know many people that wouldn't like it. It's just a good story, a nice, simple, concise story, well acted, very visually beautiful, good pacing. I love The Northman.
Yeah,
see it. And Skarsgård is jacked.
Yeah, it's enough art house and also enough accessible, just simple story of I'm gonna kill everything.
It's hyper violent, but that's how that world was. It's very real in that sense. When you learn about the Vikings, you go, oh yeah, they're brutal.
Yeah.
You know.
I cannot escape my fate.
Speaking of brutality and gruesome and making you feel terrible about yourself, my next pick.
Oh, is this the Bo Burnham one?
No. Oh,
thank God.
You're thinking of the revenge one from last year. Promising Young Woman. No,
yeah.
This is called Men.
The words I have to say.
It's a beautiful house.
But they're
Would
true.
it just be you staying, or
Excuse me?
Mrs. Marlowe?
No.
Apple from the garden?
Yeah, it was delicious.
No. Mustn't do that. Forbidden fruit.
Ugh.
Okay, Shane didn't see this one, so I'll talk about it briefly. But this is from also one of my favorite directors. Alex Garland did Ex Machina, Annihilation, did one of my favorite TV shows, Devs. I don't think Shane would like this one because it's not subtle, but the movie is not supposed to be subtle. So basically, it's about this woman who goes through this tragedy and decides to go to this cottage to get away from it, and then weird shit happens to her. This man keeps stalking her, and what's interesting about it is the movie starts off really slow and subtle and quiet, and just ramps up, and then it this is a controversial film because people say it's not subtle, it's stupid, it's in your face, but I think it earns it. Because by the end of this film, I don't want to spoil it, but I'm going to say it and then bleep it out so you know and I get your reaction. But check it out. But by the end, it's a man and you see it all in graphic, gruesome detail. So it's not subtle, but it earns it. And it was worth it to watch this in the movie theater and everyone just not knowing what the fuck is going on.
Someone's like, what the fuck?
No, literally, like, there's these people who were there like teenagers and like these couples who had no idea what they were getting into. And to my defense, I didn't. Alex Garland makes some weird shit, but I was like, bravo. And so I'm applauding it for being weird, but also it's beautifully visual. The actor plays 12 versions of a different man, including a little boy, and they put his face on the boy's body. It is so unnerving. It's an original idea with a not subtle theme of just mistrust of men in general, but it's well acted, it's well shot. But if you like dark, fucked up horror fantasy, check out Men. Alex Garland, not subtle, but man, does he make striking visuals and a great film. And the soundtrack. There's an awesome scene where you see in the trailer the girl. There's like this like kind of sound effect in this tunnel and it echoes back to her. And then throughout the entire film, it gets louder and louder. Like it goes into the score. So it's masterfully made, but it's not subtle and it is an acquired taste.
I like Alex Garland. See Men.
What are you?
So now moving on from a film that takes chances and has creativity to, oh yeah, baby. What? Elvis, baby.
Elvis.
There's a lot of people saying a lot of things. But in the end, you gotta listen to yourself.
In that moment, Elvis the man was sacrificed. and Elvis the God was born.
I'm gonna show you what the real Elvis is like tonight.
I'm gonna sum up what Elvis is. Are you ready?
Yep.
Well, hey there. Ah! Ah! Oh yeah. Ah! Oh no, that's racist. Ah! The end. Like, it is the most spastic. I hate Baz Luhrmann. I hate him with a passion. He makes dog shit movies that are made for people with attention deficit disorder. Like, I guess that's insulting on so many levels. I really like the actor.
Oh yeah.
I really like the kid who played Elvis. He did a damn good job being Elvis. Tom Hanks, I'm kind of sick of Tom Hanks, but it wasn't bad. But the direction of this film was visual vomit, and every movie that Baz Luhrmann makes is visual vomit. What'd you think about Elvis?
Oh, Elvis. This is my favorite Baz Luhrmann film. That is not saying much because I don't care for Baz Luhrmann very much. I did not want to see Elvis. I was like, I don't have a dislike of Elvis. I just don't have an interest in Elvis. But my wife wanted to see it because she loves musicals. My mom wanted to see it too. So I was like, okay, let's go see it. It's 3 hours, whatever. And I was surprised how much I enjoyed it. It's not the best movie of the year, but it's got a weird... I think my big problem besides the visuals, which I think it works for Elvis, because Elvis is such a larger than life person. It's so over the top. It didn't bother me as much because he's a caricature. Basically, Elvis has become just a stereotype of a caricature. But the only thing that kind of bothered me was, like, why is it through Tom Parker's eyes? I don't really get the purpose of it because he's not a reliable narrator. So then why are you telling us a story about Elvis from an unreliable narrator? Because no one cares about Tom Parker. So I get, like, it's a unique perspective, but his perspective isn't trustworthy. So then the whole biopic is kind of like, oh, okay, what's the point? But I guess that's the whole thing, is Baz Luhrmann can do what he wants if your main character is the bad guy. But the redeeming thing is watching Austin Butler not be like a caricature of Elvis, but like becoming him. Like he's enough like him, but enough of like his own take of him. It's pretty perfect. Like, it's just see it for that alone.
He didn't feel like an Elvis impersonator.
No,
he felt like he is him. Like,
he felt depthful. It felt like a character actually. And like, I don't give a shit about Elvis, but I felt bad watching him just make every wrong decision. So I was surprised how much I didn't hate it, but it's really well made. But it's really just the actor. Just going to see Austin Butler really do a good job. But even like me, I don't give a fuck about Elvis, but I was impressed with just his performance and just how they didn't mind making him look like an idiot.
Well, like, it's funny because you look at it and I like Elvis, but I don't really care. And we don't really have those like Beatles and Elvis where people lost their goddamn minds, you know? Like, we have so many superstars now. It's just not a thing, that kind of cult of person, that like messiah figure. Yeah. But like, Elvis was just a simple blues dude, you know? Like, that he played the music he loved. He was friends with all these black artists and stuff. So it was kind of cool to see that Elvis. I didn't know Elvis personally. Like, I'm only going off what they told me. He could have been a dickhead. But from this, you get the idea that he was just a simple Southern boy that grew up around black artists and black kids and like developed that culture. And because of the racism of the day, he was able to bring that music forward and profit off of it. But he didn't have bad intent with that. He was just doing what he loved, you know? And then I love the dichotomy of that and ending with him just real life, him total coke bloat, just singing away on stage in Vegas where he's trapped in proverbial purgatory.
Yeah, it's kind of like the whole like Dr. Faustus deal with the devil type of thing where he gets what he wants, but he's basically in hell. So it's tragic, but it's not tragic in a way that I feel bad for Elvis, because he did have that lucky privilege of just being in
I
that
would
time.
love to die of cocaine. Like rich and fucking on the penthouse in Vegas.
That's gonna be just our tagline for the rest of the podcast. I would love to die from cocaine.
Donate to Wasted Potential Podcast today and help me die of cocaine.
But yeah, Elvis, you know if you're interested in this, and you probably enjoy it. And I think
Yeah.
it's fine. I didn't hate it, but I'm never gonna watch it again. But
I recommend it for your grandma. She'd love it.
Yeah, grandmas, dads, moms, people who love it.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you also just like musicals, there's enough musical and shablob going on to distract you from the real world.
This ain't no nostalgia show. We're gonna do something different.
I would love to die of cocaine. All right. And so we had Elvis, which was visual vomit. Now we're on to then our next film, which is script vomit. So our next film is Foghorn Leghorn's The Glass Onion.
Hello! Oh my god!
Crew, we've arrived. Disruptors have assembled.
Welcome, gang. We got a great weekend.
Who's that?
Benoit Blanc, the detective?
Mr. Bronk, I cannot overstate my gratitude to be here. When's the murder mystery start?
Written by Ryan Cuck Johnson.
You know what's funny is
My least favorite director on the fucking planet.
I don't hate Ryan Johnson.
I'd watch a Tommy Wiseau Glass Onion before I watch another goddamn Ryan Johnson film. I'm so done with him.
I don't mind him. He makes me laugh. He's just like he tries things that I think he thinks are really high art, but they're almost just parodies. And I've learned to accept that. If he even like, oh god, I'm jumping too far ahead of this.
I could try to fly by throwing myself into the Grand Canyon, but no one's gonna say like he had a vision and he went for it.
I don't
like, you know what I mean? This could be like he's a dumb fuck that threw himself at the Grand Canyon.
I don't think this movie fails. I think the point of this is to make fun of how silly mysteries are, but then you don't have a good movie, do you, Ryan? It's the same thing with like doing Star Wars. If you're deconstructing Star Wars and showing how silly it all is, you don't have a good Star Wars movie, do you, Ryan? I think it just is
Pick
what it is.
your audience, you fuck.
It almost like he's preaching to the high art people of like, isn't it silly how dumb these movies are? But I'm also gonna make $1 billion off of them and keep making things like this. So it's almost like he thinks he's super smarter than he is. But for 2.5 hours, I was entertained. But I remember watching The Glass Onion. I look over at my wife and I'm not gonna lie, I was definitely inebriated, and I'm laughing, and she goes, "What are you laughing at?" I said, "This is really stupid, right?" And she goes, "Yeah, but I'm like, it's entertaining, but it's really stupid."
I looked over, and my wife was asleep.
My wife,
and I was like, "Damn you!"
My wife had just like no reaction on her face. Like sometimes we were laughing, but we were mostly talking through it, kind of going like this is like stupid, and it's almost like winking at the audience, and I don't like things like that personally, but whatever. Premise is COVID is happening, so Benoit Blanc.
Oh, I know.
It's weird. I thought that was weird that they fully.
My wife was like, she's like, and my wife's not like some anti-vaxxer or anything. But she's like, are the masks weirding you out? Like, we're watching a film that's supposed to be like fun and escapism, and everyone's not acknowledging that they're masked the fuck up and social distancing. Like, it feels preachy and weird to the audience.
It almost feels like they shot this during COVID, and then they had to like do this, but then they also didn't do it because then, for example, you have Kate Hudson is wearing it, but she's wearing like the bejeweled one that doesn't do anything, right? Then you have the others who are wearing it because to be the social distance. And you have Dave Bautista, who's basically
not wearing it.
An even dumber Joe Rogan kind of character, kind of in a way.
That's what I got from it. Yeah,
it's
like an over the top Rogan.
It's not subtle at all, but he's not even wearing it. But once again, he doesn't even acknowledge it though. He's not saying you're a bunch of like liberal losers for wearing it. It's weird that they acknowledge it but don't acknowledge it. So I don't get it. Maybe it's just Ryan Johnson being silly. Like, oh,
This
COVID.
is fucking dumb.
But maybe because they referenced that Benoit Blanc is bored in COVID, but why bother? Is that the only reason why Benoit Blanc would do this? But he was hired to not be, like, he's bored, but he gets hired by that girl to help. So it doesn't make sense.
And she doesn't wear a mask when she meets him.
No, it's all weird. So I think the movie is just weird. I didn't hate it, but I don't think it's as smart as it thinks. It's a silly escapist mystery. But when Benoit Blanc is literally saying, "You're stupid for writing this," I'm like, Ryan Johnson wrote this.
I that is my favorite line. He's like, "It's just dumb."
He's just dumb. It's
or when he's sitting, he's like, "I suck at dumb things."
yeah. So I don't know. Daniel Craig is always enjoyable and likable, but apparently he got paid out the ass for this, like a bunch of money. Like, I think like $10 million to come back and do this. So good for him. But the started with, I think my mom recently saw Knives Out, and she says, "Why is Daniel Craig being a cartoon character?" And I said, I don't know. I think that's the point. Is he's supposed to be like over the top and
I like it.
No, but that's the point though. Is he's supposed to seem like you're supposed to undermine him and not think about him too much. And then like, oh, the silly accent, and he goes, "By the way, I'm also a genius." I think it's the whole point. You're unassuming of his intelligence, but that worked in Knives Out because you don't know who Benoit Blanc is. But in this movie, everyone's like, "Oh, he's Hercule Poirot. He's Sherlock Holmes. He's the best detective of all time." But it's like, well, then he's gonna obviously solve Edward Norton's mystery immediately. I called that immediately. I was like, oh, he's gonna call it in the first couple of seconds. So then we have no mystery for the first 90 minutes of this film, and finally, like, oh, now it's a mystery. It's like,
the whole thing was a mystery.
This was a waste of my time.
So my issue with the Glass Onion, I'm noticing that my issues they don't really align with everybody else's. So maybe I'm the problem, but I already have a bias towards Daniel Craig. So I enjoyed every scene he's in just because I like the over-the-top Foghorn Leghorn. And I will give Ryan Johnson this. He acknowledges how stupid that character is by being like, he's like, "How did you find me?" And she's like, "I Googled world's greatest detective." And he's like, "Oh, I see." Like, so it's just like, I'm okay with accepting that this is a alternate world where amateur or private detectives are renowned, like the Pink Panther kind of thing. Like, okay, fine. Like Benoit Blanc. And I kind of like the idea. I don't like it in movie form, but I think Benoit Blanc would be a more fun, like, Netflix, like 5-episode series of like every series. He's like a Scooby-Doo, like Benoit Blanc solves this crazy mystery here and there. Like, Glass Onion is too long, and so you just are fucking done. But if you shrink that down to 45 minutes of Benoit Blanc solving like the mystery of the day, I think it's a lot more fun premise, and people are more on board, where every episode is a new mystery, new thing, and you could do some fun stuff.
I think it'd be fun.
And I feel like that's what he's going for with these movies, but it's too bloated and too long, and the mystery is so dumb. You need something. This had too many angles. Like, Knives Out was fun because the angles were the family members. The angles are like new energy source, the radio show, Elon Musk, COVID, like a twin. Like, it's too much. It got away from like its kind of like Clue kind of idea with the family in Knives Out, and became too much and too up its own ass.
And that's why I think it's stupid. I think if he clutters the screen and bloats it, it seems more complex than it is. But the whole point of him writing this is to show how silly mysteries are. But then I don't care. Like I think in theory it'd be cool to have a Benoit Blanc miniseries and just have like an hour-long episodes and everyone's different. But then that's the opposite of what Ryan Johnson's trying to do. He's trying to show how silly these Agatha Christie mysteries are. They're really obvious and in your face. So then what do you do now if when he basically pulls all the punches out of a mystery movie and says how stupid they are? You can't take your silly detective anymore and do it because it's all too easy for him.
Oh, hey, fuck you.
Like, you're right. That's exactly what's wrong with this movie is he's trying to show how stupid mysteries are and then present a mystery. And you go, fuck you, guy.
Yeah.
Like,
but once again, I like mysteries a lot. I like reading a good mystery novel, but I have to you have to really separate, like you said, reality, because private detectives aren't really a thing.
There's gonna be things, yeah.
So
and there's gonna be things that happen in the plot that have to happen.
Yeah, because like this is literally And Then There Were None, where it's all people invited to an island. They all start dying one by one. The premise of that is so ridiculous, but it's fun because you're putting yourself in the shoes of a detective and trying to solve it. But in The Glass Onion, the mystery doesn't happen for an hour and a half. So you're just kind of hearing the ramblings of all these terribly annoying people who all make the right decision in the end. And you're like, I don't really care because you've shown how silly and dumb this all is to me. But
fucking dumb.
And like in the next movie I'm going to get to is another mystery. I'll go really briefly into it because you didn't see it. It's like I can suspend my disbelief for mysteries because it's a mystery and it's supposed to be fun and a little bit lighthearted and silly. But when you just say, this is dumb, I'm going to make fun of it, and then you spent 2.5 hours thanks for your money. So
yeah, I'm going to give him a little what he should have done because I have no respect for Rian Johnson's writing. I like Benoit Blanc being like, oh, it was a crossbow in the corner. And then he like says it all before it happens. Like, that's kind of fun. And then Ed Norton's like, can we talk? Like, I think someone should have killed Ed Norton. And then it's, oh my God, who killed Ed Norton? Yeah, that's like a simple, mystery we've all seen. But you're here because you like the characters. This is supposed to be a character mystery. So if the mystery is kind of simple and dumb, that's fine as long as you have fun getting to the end. Scooby-Doo, you always fucking knew who it was going to be, but you enjoyed following Scooby and the gang.
Yeah.
Like, so fuck you, Rian Johnson. Stop making movies or put me in your next one. You choose.
Yeah. Since we're on mysteries, really quickly, I saw one that you should see because it's got our favorite actor of all time, Sam Rockwell, in it. It's called See How They Run. It's a silly little mystery, and it's Sam Rockwell is an alcoholic detective, so going with the cliches there. He has a new cadet basically helping him out, played by Sarah Rose Ronan, or I can't remember how to pronounce her name, but she's like this naive, silly. She jumps to conclusions, and then there's a murder with a Hollywood writer producer thing, and it's very in the style of Agatha Christie mysteries, where it's super over the top and silly. The ending is kind of pretentious in a way, but it's fun because it's very old Hollywood. It's an old kind of throwback to old mysteries. It's like 90 minutes. It's silly. It's on HBO Max now. If you like silly mysteries, Sam Rockwell is always delightful. He's fun. He plays just like a cynical detective. It's a classic mystery of like red herrings, whodunit, silly back and forth, kind of tongue-in-cheek silliness. So that's a mystery I would recommend. I don't recommend The Glass Onion, but everyone saw The Glass Onion. No one saw See How They Run, so whatever.
I thought it was going to be about an alien movie in the back. See? They're aliens. See how they run? That was what I pictured.
No, it's a silly little 90-minute mystery whodunit throwback. It's tons of fun. It's got a whole like ensemble. It's The Glass Onion. The Glass Onion wasn't made by a pretentious ass.
Well, I'm going to see it at some point.
You should. You really should. Sam Rockwell is always worth the price of admission. It's fun.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, speaking of pretentious asses.
Let's do it. I am going to quote my friend Jack from my other podcast, since I have to plug it. His description of this movie was, this movie is way better than it has any business being. I said the exact same thing about this. It's so super funny. Like, and if you don't know, the movie we're talking about is Boom. I got a need for speed. It's Top Gun Maverick. Usually I would cut in the actual dialogue, but I'm just going to keep your own in there. I can't shake him. You gotta.
What do we have here? Yeah, here I thought we were special.
Fellas, this here's Bagman.
Hangman.
Whatever.
What the hell kind of mission is this?
Everyone here is the best there is. Who the hell are they gonna get to teach us?
Captain Pete Maverick Mitchell.
It is a movie that when they said they were going to do it, I rolled my eyes and said, I'm never going to see this fucking film. Then it came out and I said, I'm not going to see this fucking film. And everyone kept saying the same thing. It's pretty fucking good. And I went, okay, whatever. Everyone said Black Panther is the #1 movie in movie history. I'm not fucking seeing this film. And then you saw it and you're like... and then you saw this film and were like, it's fun. And if Ronnie goes, it's fun, that means I'm gonna fucking love it. So
that's fair.
My wife and I watched it, and I was like, God damn it! I didn't think you could recapture the fun that was the original Top Gun, and do it in a way that feels new but familiar. And they did. God damn it, Tom Cruise. You did it, you son of a bitch. Miles Teller is great. All the actors. And I even thought they were going to get up their own ass with, like, this is the tough chick. And da-da-da. But they all feel pretty real except for the one Iceman kind of guy. He's kind of a little too much.
He reminds me of Val Kilmer, really, though. It's
yeah.
very almost like 80s kind of villain, like, it's so obvious. But once again, by the end, he's just trying to be the best that he can be, so it's not as annoying as the Val Kilmer character, in my opinion, in the original one. It's believable, but it is a little kind of hammy.
It's kind of nice to revisit that old movie where not everything has to be like this fucking discussion on modern day politics. Like, it is America versus not Russia.
or not North Korea. Or not China.
Yeah, definitely not communist nation insert here. And like a group of the best, but they're not a team. And through the power of friendship, they're going to become a team. And Tom Cruise is just this badass that can't fail. But he's got demons, and that's his kind of arc. But it's so fucking... Dude, when he steals a plane... and I was like, we're doing this, and it got to the end because they're like, it can't be done. And John Hamm's a cocksucker who's just like, fuck you, I'm going to chop this mission at the knees. Why? Because I want to fail. I don't get him, but he's like, it can't be done, and we're going to change these parameters. And they're like, sir, there's someone on the radar. And you're like, oh no, it's fucking... He stole a goddamn plane then does this shit and shows them that the impossible is possible because he's Tom Cruise. I was like, he would have been thrown in prison immediately. But god damn it, this is awesome.
It doesn't matter because it is what it is. It knows what it is. It's not even going to apologize for what it is.
It doesn't. Nope. It just keeps hammering home how awesome. And you just get done and you're just like, fuck yeah.
It's the right balance of pandering and just kind of fun. And this movie should have made me roll my eyes, and I didn't. I don't care about
right.
I don't care about Top Gun. I'm not a very patriotic person. I don't really care for Tom Cruise or any of the actors.
Not a patriot.
But once again, this movie was fun, and I'm never gonna see it again. I didn't want to see it. I took my grandpa to see it because he wanted to see it, and I was like, "This is very enjoyable. It was fun. I have nothing more to say about it besides." It is the exact same movie as the first. This is nothing in depthful and intense. It's just really well made filmmaking from a director I've never heard of before. And now I'm looking at his filmography. I'm like, what the fuck is this? He did a movie this year called Spiderhead that went to him directly to Netflix. It's with Chris Hemsworth and also Miles Teller. It's really dumb. It's a fun premise, but it's really, really stupid. I'm like, this makes more sense. I think Tom Cruise and others are very involved in the writing and filmmaking. It's probably one of the best big budget kind of action film of the year, honestly. And
it's funny too, because it also demonstrates I'll put a little bit of the Hollywood sexism where Val Kilmer gets a very well constructed send off, right?
Yeah.
Because I remember going into this, and I didn't know he makes an appearance.
None did I.
I thought they just put his funny photo there.
Yeah,
of
right.
like, this is the Admiral with his bleached tips, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And I'm like, but they show him, and I was like, how are they gonna address? He can't talk, and he
Right.
was texting, and I was like, oh, they're just gonna do like texting the entire time, and it's like, come meet me, and I was like, oh, what are they gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
And like, I think it was really well done.
Yeah.
Like, they give him a good send off. Val Kilmer gets to like act, but like within his means, and like he gets that, but the actress that played Tom Cruise's love interest isn't allowed anywhere near the film because she's fat now.
Yeah. They're yeah, that's the reality of filmmaking.
I mean, yeah, Top Gun. If you didn't like the first Top Gun, then just fuck off and don't go near this.
I
'cause I don't want you near it.
I don't. I think the original Top Gun is fine. It's nothing that interests me at all. It is of its time, and I don't. This movie, I should have hated this movie, and I didn't. I don't know what it was. Everything about this I should have hated, but I didn't.
It's the Tom Cruise effect. He just winks in. You're like, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, but
Top Gun.
Having any fun yet?
All right. What's our next film that we saw this year, Ronnie?
Well, you didn't see this film this year, and it wouldn't be a top list of the year from me if I didn't bring in something that's terribly uncomfortable and miserable. So I'm gonna drop it right now. I saw this. It's been on my list since the beginning of the year. I think in January. Obviously not in theaters because no one's gonna show this foreign film, but it's on my list.
Wait. Let me guess.
Yep.
Real quick. What does it have? You Won't Be Alone.
It's called You Won't Be Alone. It's Northern European. This is Macedonian language, but I think it's like Swedish like that. So you can guess.
Swedish. So that's gonna have uncomfortable sex scene.
Oh, you know it.
Yay!
Okay.
Is there murder?
Oh, there is so much murder.
Hey, I'm getting good at this.
Guess what else is in it?
What else is in it? Anal rape.
Not that graphic, but yeah, there's tons of rape. Okay. You Won't Be Alone. I can describe this as The Witch meets Under the Skin, that Scarlett Johansson movie from a few years ago.
Where she was a naked alien that eats people?
Yeah, and gets raped. Yeah. Two of my favorite films from the past, 10 years. They're very subtle, quiet films. They're very visual. You Won't Be Alone is nightmare fuel. It is about a young girl who's cursed by a witch, and her mother locks her away from the world for 16 years to hide her. So it's kind of like an old school fairy tale, but it's done graphically and darkly. And then the witch comes and claims her prize, and the witch is just awful with her. So this girl's been locked away. So instead of being like a cute like Rapunzel, she's this naive, basically can't speak, can't do any. She's like a Neanderthal, because it's authentic. Where she doesn't understand the entire world. So this witch releases her from captivity and takes her out in the world. And then she's discovering the world and how awful and dark it is. It takes place in 19th century Macedonia. So it's colonial and it's awful. And then it's just this young girl. She becomes a witch and kind of realizes what her powers are and just how awful the world is. But what's interesting why I'm mentioning this is because the narrative is
kind of like a fucked up unstoppable Kimmy Schmidt.
Yeah, there you go. Basically, it's like all those true crime things, but awful, even more awful. And so there's two things why I like about this. One, the witch myth. The witch can take form of people, but she has to kill them and then take out all their organs and put them inside her chest. So it's super gruesome and really visceral and dark. And so it's really dark. And then the other reason why I like it is I don't like voiceover narration because I think it's pretentious and annoying. This movie has voiceover narration and it's pretentious and annoying, but what makes a difference is it's from the lead character, and she doesn't understand language and doesn't understand the names for things. So it's like this broken, artsy kind of dumb poetry that really fits her describing the world because she doesn't know what anything is. So it's a unique narrative. It's really dark, but it's from a perspective of someone naive who the witch thinks the world's evil and dark, and this girl's trying to see the good in it. So even though it's really dark and gruesome, it has a positive kind of theme of like, this is the world as it is. You can look at it dark or you can look at it beautifully. So this girl sees it beautifully, even though the things happening to her are awful. So it's a unique narrative that no one will like besides me. So it's on my top list of like uncomfortable gruesomeness, but it's unique. And once again, it takes a weird risk, and it's gorgeous and beautiful and gruesome. But check out if you like feel bad movies, you won't be alone. You won't be alone because I like that kind of shit too.
Jesus.
Yeah, right.
Our next film, after Ronnie's rape porn, is another Francis McDormand film about his existential fear of boredom.
Martin McDormand.
Whatever. That guy. It's called Banshees of Inishirin.
Inishirin.
Ed Sheeran.
The Banshees of Ed Sheeran.
Yeah, this is the Banshees of Ed Sheeran.
Now, if I've done something to you, just tell me what I've done to you.
But you didn't do anything to me. I just don't like you no more.
You didn't like me yesterday.
Why does he not want to be friends with you no more? What is he, 12?
What the hell's going on with you, me feckin' brother?
He's dull, Siobhan.
But he's always been done.
The other night, 2 hours you spent talking to me about the things you found in your little donkey shite that day.
Well, it wasn't me little donkey's shite. It was me pony's shite, which shows how much you were listening.
But before we give our opinions, let's try to recap it, because this one we should spend some time on. Not too much time, but some time on.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot to unpack. It is about Ronnie and I's relationship when we're in our 60s. Where Ronnie is going to threaten to mutilate himself if I say another goddamn word to him.
Perfect.
This film is about an island, right? Off of Ireland?
Yeah.
That is population of like 15 people. Colin Farrell, a very simple man, very simple and friendly man who lives with his sister.
He's not dull.
Has a best friend who is Brendan Gleeson, and they have been drinking buddies presumably for a very, very long time.
Mm-hmm.
But they do the same thing every day. At 2:00, he goes and picks him up from his house. They walk to the pub. They get pissed drunk and go home. Rinse, dry, repeat. One day, Colin Farrell goes to the house, receives no answer, can't find him, Colin Farrell shows that this is very odd. And he goes to the pub. He's not there. And we're trying to figure out what's going on. He then sees Brendan Gleeson, who promptly ignores him. We go on through kind of witty exchange that Brendan Gleeson does not want to talk to his best friend any longer, period. He doesn't want him to ever speak to him again. And there's been no reason given. So Colin Farrell's trying to understand why his best friend just up and doesn't want to talk to him anymore. Gets to the point where Colin Farrell is obviously not listening to him and keeps trying to figure out what's wrong with him. And Brendan Gleeson says, "I will chop off one of my fingers every single time you talk to me." This is funny and dark, and it has big implications because Brendan Gleeson is a very good fiddle player. And understandably, if he keeps doing this, then he won't be able to play his fiddle any longer either. So that's how important this is to him. It turns into kind of like this discussion on death and like
conflict, friendship.
Yeah, feeling as if our life has meaning and like how important the people around you are.
Loneliness, purpose. It's all these beautifully deep, kind of mature themes.
And it ends with
I'm just gonna bleep all that out because you ruined the movie.
This film should be incredibly boring and a pain to watch.
Yep.
But Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson are just so damn good together. And Martin McDonagh has such a good way at making simple dialogue intriguing and funny. And it is just so much fun. And the sister, Colin Farrell's sister, is really good. How she's the only sane one on this island.
Yeah.
Like, Brendan Gleeson thinks he's sane, but he's literally chopping his fingers off so someone won't talk to him. And thinks himself the next Mozart, and she is like the only sane person, and she sprints away and just says, "Fuck all you, I can't take this anymore."
Yeah.
And I like that, how all these people are so simple and they think that they're all normal, and they're actually all crazy.
Yeah, so you spoiled it. I'm gonna bleep out the ending there, so because we didn't give him a spoiler warning, but you're basically ruining the film here. But here, do you want to go into spoilers from now on then, and kind of dive into this and what you like, why you like this movie and like the themes of it, or just kind of keep it kind of vague?
Well, we'll just stick to the themes.
Okay, well,
we won't spoil too much.
This is like
for our 5 listeners.
This is like my favorite movie of the year, I think.
It's tied with me for The Northman.
Yeah.
I really liked The Northman, but I like these movies for different reasons.
Yeah, and I wanted to watch this immediately afterwards again because I got through the plot and I wanted to just get back into the characters and the themes again because I like Irish literature. I'm a big fan of James Joyce and a lot of that time period. The Irish Civil War is a very interesting history to me. Like and it ties into the whole plot of this. It's like it's always in the background. It's there, and they even say it because it's like if it's not obvious, they make it obvious by saying, "I don't know who's fighting. I don't know who's dying. I don't know why they're fighting. It doesn't matter." And that perfectly ties into this story of like. It doesn't matter why they have a conflict because the conflict, like most of our conflicts and problems in our life, it doesn't matter what started it. The problem is we're so stubborn and selfish that we just keep pushing it to a point where we can't just forgive each other. We just gotta up the ante.
End up having no fingers.
You have nothing left. So a lot of Irish literature, like in Joyce, and like just torn between this patriotism to your homeland, but also a hatred of your own people because they're so stubborn and can't just kind of move on. So you have the sister who's the only sane one who's able to get away from all of this, but she's like torn because her dumb brother is left on this island to die.
She knows if she leaves, this is going to dissolve into chaos.
But she doesn't want to stay and live in this world. She'd prefer to go to an actual war. To a war zone than to stick around with like this because you think this island would be like a refuge from the misery, but it's just as miserable and empty and sad. And it sounds like we're describing a sad movie, and it is, but the dialogue is so funny and the scenery is so beautiful. It's well shot and it's so self-reflective of I think of myself, of just how I view conflict and anger and just frustration and stubbornness. I'm like, yeah, I totally, and I sympathize, I understand these characters, but it's a beautifully dark film, but that's us. I think you and I like dark comedies. I think Martin McDonagh like makes films, I feel like, for us, because we have In Bruges where we can like laugh our asses up, but also feel really sad. And then, did you ever see 3 Billboards Out of Ebb, Missouri?
I never saw that.
You should see that one next. It's also, that one's really dark too. That also really pushes you on characters of like, oh, Sam Rockwell's an asshole. but I loved it. I love this, just like this constant feeling of loneliness, but then it has this ambiguous morality where McDonagh doesn't judge any of the characters. They are who they are. They're all likable, irredeemable, and just miserable, so you kind of just feel this sympathy for them, but they choose a miserable life. They don't know anything better.
It's funny because you're sitting here and you see the solution to everyone's problem, which is to just stop being an asshole, but everyone refuses to accept reality.
Yeah.
Like, Colin Farrell is dumb, but a nice guy.
Yeah.
But he's dull. I'm not dull. But Brendan Gleeson thinks way higher of himself than what is true. Because he's like comparing himself to Mozart and all these things, and everyone's like, no one's gonna fucking hear your goddamn fiddle song. Like, but he refuses. He's just got it in his mind that the reason that no one appreciates who he is because of his friend. They all don't realize that the reason their life is boring is because there's 15 people more. There's more sheep on this island than there are people.
Yeah,
and like that is their problem.
Well,
but they're all creating this conflict.
Yeah, and they're all escalating it because Colin Farrell's a nice guy until he's not, because he's pushed to a point where he no longer sees a purpose in being kind because he thinks his friend will like someone who's mean. And then Brendan Gleeson seems like a selfish asshole. But there's that scene where he picks up Colin Farrell and he wants to reconnect with him, but then he's being a selfish asshole and then pushes him back away because you can have your cake and eat it too, but he's blaming everyone else for his problems. It's a perfect kind of connection to the Irish Civil War of blaming this side over this side and the violence, the nonsensical, endless violence that is happening on this island is because two sides just can't come to agreement about something super silly. So it's beautifully perfect and done, and it's so fucking miserable, but still you laugh at it, and by the end you kind of have hope for them, but you also know that like the Irish Civil War, it's gonna keep going and going. This misery in this island because these people are just stuck.
Never gonna end.
Yeah. So I loved this film. It's artsy and pretentious, but man, is it funny! And I just want to constantly say, I'm gonna keep my donkey inside while I'm depressed.
Keep my donkey inside. Oh God, I love this film.
Yeah, it's excellent. It's see, this like films like this is what gives me hope for like I don't need to go see the next tentpole movie. I don't need to see Black Adam or Black Panther or whatever Marvel crap or Star Wars crap is being dumped on it, because I will look forward to the next Martin McDonagh film or the next weird Swedish like rape film. There's always things out there for me.
I will say that I'm becoming more and more of a fan of the subscription service. I know the problem with it is it's all spread out and you got to have 18 subscriptions in order to access it all, but it means that there's more when there's just a certain amount of cash coming in, then there's less fear of something being a flop because you're going to get money regardless. Like the Northman, I think, was in theaters. I knew it was not going to perform well monetarily.
Oh yeah, it didn't. It flopped.
But the more that these are more on subscription services, the more I feel like we can keep these films alive and being supported, and the more that there's going to be a willingness to do it because the income is fixed. So kill the movies, kill movie theaters, kill movie theaters.
Or you can be like me and like my wife and I look for small artsy films in big theaters and give them our $10 and say, here, some of us give a shit about this. Like there's a movie I saw this year called The Watcher. It's a really simple movie. It's like a woman sees something scary across the way in a window. It's super simple, but it's really well made. Here's my $10. I appreciate that film, or I'll rent it for $20 on Amazon Prime. Whatever. I have the option of giving them my money still.
I have not paid over $6 for any of these.
I will. I'll give you $10 if it's good, but I'm not. I pay $10 a month for Disney Plus. Fuck it. I have to like do my tax write-off to these artsy, sad films to just to feel good about myself.
Can we write it off as charity?
It should be at this point.
Let's just call it quits.
We won't call it quits. We'll call it the start.
My two favorite horror films of the year, speaking of artsy bullshit, are X and Pearl. I'll put them together because X came out...
Sorry. I had a DMX reference there.
DM.
Don't give it to you. R.I.P.
Oh, speaking of which, Sex. That's why it's called X. It came out in the March, I think X did. I wanted to see it because I was like, this looks fucked up. And then Pearl is a prequel sequel to it. I think Pearl is a more artsy, better made film, while X is a kind of more of a slasher kind of film. But X is simple. These porn stars go make a porno in this barn. They rent this barn from this old couple who's creepy, and they're making this sleazy sex film, and then it all turns to shit because the old people have sexual hang-ups. It's all about sexuality and expression. It all takes place in like I think in the 60s or 70s, kind of like with like this like television, and obviously like the porn is now becoming a thing, and then the Bible Belt's pushing back on it, so these filmmakers are making their sleazy sex thing in the Bible Belt, and they all get killed and murdered, and it's gross and uncomfortable, and it's all about repressed sexuality. It'll make you uncomfortable. Has Mia Goth in it. I think she's married or dating Shia LaBeouf, your boyfriend, and she has a weird.
Well, I mean, we've had some disagreements as of lately. Started hitting people.
Yeah, but Mia Goth is brilliant, and she kind of helped make the sequel Pearl. But she's creepy and has a weird face to her, but she's very enigmatic and engaging, and she's an excellent actress. So X is more of a classic kind of slasher, make you feel uncomfortable and gross, but it's done artsy fartsy, so it's up my own ass and it's up my alley. And then Pearl is all Mia Goth. She takes one of the characters in X and goes back to the 1920s during like the Spanish flu, so it's a weird kind of COVID connection there, and it shows the backstory to one of the characters in X of why she's like this, so you feel sympathy, but you also don't because she's out of her fucking mind. But that one's like a character study, and that one's slower and artsy fartsy until it's just a gruesome slasher. But these are two of my favorite films. They're excellently acted, excellently done. So if you like horror, if you like slasher, X is your jam. If you like artsy fartsy character studies, Pearl is your jam. I love those films. I'm gonna rewatch them for sure. But those are two of my favorites of the year. And watching X in a movie theater was priceless. Watching what happens, like, because it's progressively just gets more uncomfortable, and to a point where you see old people banging. Oh man, creepy, uncomfortable old people sex made me laugh uncontrollably, and people are like, "What the fuck is this?" I'm like, "Yay!" So it's shocking, but it's also really well done and beautiful. So I loved those films. So we're on a roll of fucked up weird shit for me this year. Loved it all.
Oh no, stepbrother! I seem to have gotten caught in my chair.
Hey, there's a reason why people are fucked up like that, and it's kind of reflexive of the whole porn industry and sexuality of like, do one thing, you're also gonna get punished for it in the end, and all of this. No one's free of their sexual hangups, and they're being punished for it. It's fun. Shane, let's dive into some television. We both watched Guillermo del Toro's The Cabinet of Curiosities.
Picture your mind as a cabinet where you lock up your darkest thoughts and deepest fears. What would happen if you opened that cabinet for the world to see? We are about to find out.
Yeah. This came out, around like Halloween-ish?
Yeah, in October for the spooky season.
Yeah. And Guillermo del Toro is so fun to see on screen. He's so fat with his big glasses, and he has this accent, and he's like, "We are going to go to the Cabinet of Mysteries." I'm like, "Don't eat it, Guillermo!" I like the premise where Guillermo has his love, and he found some of the directors are like lower-level directors or smaller, getting started.
Yeah.
Some of them weren't. I feel like a couple were big directors, but
it's kind of a give and take of just giving kind of these horror directors, giving them kind of the carte blanche to make a little short story.
And it's perfect for Netflix. I loved the idea, and it turned out to be great. I would say there was only two. I think what is there, like 6 stories or something like that?
There's 8.
8. 2 of them we can discuss it. they're not like a huge swing and a miss. They're just not as good as the others.
Yeah, they're all well made. I think except for one of them I really didn't like. But for the most part, most of them are pretty great. And what I like about it is it's diverse enough horror filmmaking. So like there's some slasher, there's some monster, there's some atmospheric emotional kind of horror. So you really can like, maybe you don't like this one, but it's 45 minutes and the next one's going to be maybe more up your alley.
Yeah. And I think there was kind of like a theme given by Guillermo where all there has to be is a monster. Yeah. Like that's it. Like, and a theme. I'm sure he gave them like the theme and a monster, and then the director or whoever was in charge of it wrote their thing and then did it.
And some kind of object, because they all kind of go around a visual kind of starting point. Like they're not all about the visual per se or the object, but they all kind of revolve around because it's a cabinet of curiosity. So he opens up the cabinet and there you pull something out and says, "Oh, this is a key." Or,
he might have gave him an object and a monster, and they created the story around that. Which one was your favorite, and which one was your least favorite?
There's two. There's a lot. Actually, there's like three of them I really liked. Okay, I'm just gonna go with one. The last one, The Murmuring, about the couple who are bird watchers.
The bird watchers.
Yeah. So that was directed by I think Jennifer Kent is her name. She did the Babadook and the Blackbird. I think that's what it's called. Two of my really dark kind of horror films. So this one's slow. This is my style, kind of atmospheric. It's thematic. It's about loss. It's simple, but it's really well made. It's about a couple kind of dealing with loss and like just like they're not giving each other time to mourn, and then you're seeing things, and it's all visual about like freedom of birds and kind of letting go of your loss. So it's super slow and subtle, and I like it. It's kind of my jam of horror. And then I also love The Viewing. That's the Panos Cosmatos one, where it kind of ends.
Oh, that's the 70s kind of.
Yes, with like the wealthy people.
Yes, that was my favorite.
Yeah. So go ahead, you can describe The Viewing then.
This one is like, what is it, like 4 or 5 people who are experts or something in one field. Like there's an author, there's a music writer who's played by Eric Andre.
Yeah. Is it like a scientist, some kind of like
scientist
and some kind of arts guy. They're all invited.
And, they all get this kind of cryptic invitation to this super mansion run by this super billionaire kind of guy.
Yeah.
And they get there and they do like the world's best drugs and they drink the world's best drinks, and like it's like Alien meets like it's got like this super synth track that's awesome. And it's super retro.
Yeah, Panos Cosmatos is just known for his kind of retro synthy kind of atmospheric weird, like 'cause the whole time you're watching this you're like what's this getting to? It's super pretentious. It's perfect because it plays into the plot. It's these 5 pretentious people doing drugs, talking these lofty ideas, and then it ends with a monster movie.
A goo monster.
Yeah, a goo monster, and it's kind of disappointing, but that's the whole point. It kind of just pulls the rug underneath you and says, "Fuck these people. This is what it is." It's kind of now it's a literal brain melting kind of like ending, like Indiana Jones in the Lost Ark.
It does feel a little bit like you enjoy the whole thing. You're like, oh, and there's a monster.
But that's kind of the point, though. It's pulling it's pulling the air out of these people and just how stupid and silly their conversations are.
Yeah, and how pointless it all is.
Yeah.
That was a good one. My least favorite, and you might agree with me, is the one with Ron Weasley.
Dreams in the Witch House.
God.
Yeah, I think I like the premise, but this is directed by the director of Twilight, so it feels cheaper, and it feels very plotty. And the other ones I don't like as much. I like more or less plotty and more kind of character and atmospheric kind of driven. This one's very plotty. It feels like a kind of Harry Potter. It has Ron Weasley in it, but it feels more like there's a witch and there's like this whole backstory and you gotta go and follow this, and it feels very fantasy. It doesn't fit the rest of them as much.
Yeah,
it feels juvenile.
And it could have what would have fixed it, at least for me, is change the relationship to not be his twin sister, because it's really weird.
Yeah.
I think making it his wife would
Yeah.
have given it a little more stakes and a little bit more of a love connection, like, love bridging the gap kind of thing, which is cheesy. But when you're talking about an alternate dimension that's run by a witch, cheesy's okay.
And also
like
a 1 hour mini episode. It's you can forgive some cheese because the visuals and the storytelling is more interesting. But that one's lame. We both liked it, but I think you liked it more was the Pikmin's Model, which is the art student one.
Yes, that was a good one. That made me really want it. There was a lot of Lovecraftian stuff.
Yeah.
But just the ending of it was like the cherry on top of this thing. Like, they could have ended it poorly, but they ended with that, and I was like, my dear God.
They go really fucking dark. My only problem with it was I was like, what's the point of this? It's visually perfect. It's acted really well, and it's just really uncomfortable. I just didn't get what the point.
There was no point. Just these pictures drawn by this wizard, basically. Fuck you up. And you do fucked up shit because of it.
Yeah, well, I feel like the other stories kind of had more of a theme to it. This one didn't, which is fine. Once again, that's fine. They're all different. They're all gotta be a little different. So I like that one. I liked it a lot. Visually, it's really uncomfortable. Man, it goes off the deep end of darkness.
The storage one was good.
That one's good. The Autopsy. I love that one.
Oh, that one was really good, because that's like this mental chess game between this alien and this doctor.
Yeah, it reminded me of the Dreamcatcher, but done really well.
Yeah,
like
where
it's
like this parasite
body horror, kind of uncomfortable, where it's like F. Murray Abraham, this old guy, is kind of, like you said, chess game with this alien thing. It's really good. It's really gruesome and gross, and I like that one a lot. That was a really good one. My wife did not like that one.
It's not gory for gory's sake. Like, there's meaning behind it. Like, it's to show that this guy is like sacrificing everything to beat this alien.
But yeah, I think overall they were, most of them are really great, and they're short enough where you can like watch one a night and kind of, okay, cool, this is a cool, like, for the horror season, it worked out really well. I loved them. Hopefully they make a second season. Be interesting to see.
It's a good premise to go forward, and it gives directors that may have been otherwise not as well known a chance to have Guillermo del Toro's clout bring their art forward.
Yeah, I think the only problem is, like, for example, like the first one, the Lot one, I liked it until like the dumb monster was running around. It was a little too much showy of the monster, because I think that for horror you need less showy, because then it gets kind of silly. It's kind of
liked it.
Yeah, it's good, but I think the less you show of a monster, the better. It's kind of like with the viewing towards the end, like that drippy monster kind of slowly running through. It doesn't look bad, but it almost looks a little more silly and funny. Like, if you linger on horror too long, the veil lifts and you kind of go like, oh, this is kind of silly looking, but whatever. I loved most of them for the extent. Since we're on Guillermo del Toro, I watched his Pinocchio on Netflix.
I did not.
I don't think it's for you. I don't really care about Pinocchio. I really loved it. It's really fucking dark. So it's like taking the original Pinocchio story, and Guillermo del Toro's like, hey, we're not going to Disneyfy this at all. We're going to keep it dark and mature, and like have these themes that, like, I don't think kids would like this at all, but maybe weirdo adults like me would really like it. But I liked it. Stop motion, so it's kind of janky, but it has a lot of fun voice actors, and it's really dark. So if you want a mature fairy tale, it's PG still, but kind of haunting,
kind of a Grimm's tale,
a lot of death and sadness, and kind of learning about but it is the importance of life. It's the Grimm's fairy tale of, like, it's dark, but there's a little didactic message to tell you at the end, and it's basically, oh, enjoy life. Like, oh, it's cool, but also everyone died. It's delightful. Okay, Shane, bore me with
when
your...
you wish upon a star.
Yeah.
I want to tell you a story. It's a story you may think you know, but you don't.
This is one of those nightmare specials, the kind you never get to the bottom of.
Okay, Shane, tell us about your boring military TV shows, and won't talk for a minute.
So I discovered the show, and I'm not the only one that discovered it, Alone. Netflix got like season 6 or something. The premise is they take professional survivalists and put them on Vancouver Island or some shithole, and they're allowed to bring like 10 items, and they survive until the last one's left, and at any time they can tap out, right?
Oh, so it's like Naked and Afraid. Okay, yeah.
Very Naked and Afraid-esque, but these are professionals. Like, so most people aren't doing something super dumb. They're like doing what makes sense, which is kind of nice. And I can sum it up in this. Hey, bear. Hey, bear. Hey, no bear. Bad bear. And God, I'm fucking hungry. And day 60, talking to myself. God, I'm fucking hungry. It's fun. They do it in a way, and they like obviously the producers church it up and do stuff like that. But as far as survival shows go, it's rather addicting. There's some fun characters. Alone.
I think we watched a couple episodes, and I like to eat Cheetos and watch the TV show.
Yeah. Oh, I love to stuff my fat fucking face and be like, why isn't he fishing? You know, that's not very smart. You know what I would have done?
Honey, more chocolate milk, please.
honey, he hasn't eaten in 3 days and he's bitching about food again. God, I'm hungry. It's so fun to just couch quarterback this thing. Yep. And you're like, shut the fuck up. I've heard you bitch forever. And it's like day 9, no food. And you're like, oh, let me guess, you're hungry. Shut up.
I could do that. No problem.
Yeah, I could. Oh, it's a total thing where you're like, I could do better than that. But then you go hungry for a day. You fast for a day, and you're like, I'm gonna die.
Right.
So Alone, perfect couch quarterback, and you will not stop saying, "Hey bear." Hey bear. Can we just clip that? Have fun with that. Hey bear. Hey. Hey bear.
I love this lifestyle, living by the earth and the land. Whew. The pride and the fulfillment when things work, when your shelter works, when your boat works, when your boat drill works. It gives you so much joy. Holy cow. There's a Greys walking down the beach. Hey, bear. Hey, bear. Hey. He hasn't even stopped. He's still walking this way. Hey, bear! No! Can't believe I'm naked and a bear's freaking right there. I'm gonna have to fire some bangers. Nothing.
It's not good.
Hey, bear! No! Man, I just got my boat done, and I don't want him to shred it. Hey, bear! No! No!
Then the other military one I watched, Jack Ryan Season 3, which is John Krasinski staring at things. I used to like John Krasinski. Now I think he's a shit actor. Like, he's so one note.
He's playing Jack Ryan. Jack Ryan has no depth.
Fuck you!
He has no depth!
I am so sick of the fucking Clancy movies. Fuck! No one knows how to do Clancy. Because if you did Clancy, you wouldn't like Foreigners, and you wouldn't like... and Tom Clancy's characters are awesome, but yes, his stories are like military porn and stuff, but the problem is Michael Bay always attaches himself to these things, so they lose their draw. And Season 3 is not as bad as Season 2. Season 2 was dog shit. Season 3 is
Can I guess?
rabbit. It's rabbit shit, where it's like you don't notice it until you really look. Oh yeah, guess what the plot of season 3 is?
Jack Ryan has to turn his back on the CIA because the CIA doesn't want him to go further than he has to go, so then he has to go behind the enemy lines, and then the CIA is chasing him because Jack Ryan knows it's best for America.
You watched the trailer, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
You son of a bitch!
That just guessed. Am I right?
Guess what he's trying to stop?
Nuclear war from North Korea.
God damn it!
Oh, really?
Yes!
Oh my god, I'm a genius. Or at
He
least
gets
I'm...
burned by the CIA hunting a Russian arms dealer who's got a nuke. And it turns out that it's like this weird, like, they definitely wrote it. This is post-Ukraine, like, war starting. So, like, there's this weird, like, NATO's going to get drawn in and Russia's the bad guy. And there's a rogue faction in the Russian government that wants to nuke something because of something. Obviously, Jack Ryan stops it. We all save the day. Huzzah, yay, U.S. military, and CIA, who killed Kennedy. Like, it's stupid, but this one's not as bad. It's actually kind of fun. It's a good, by-the-numbers Tom Clancy adaptation. But yeah, I don't like John Krasinski. I really liked all the other people in it. Hated him. Jack Ryan. I've given up. I grew up such a Tom Clancy fan, and every time they're like, we're going to make a Tom Clancy, and I'm like, yay! And then I watch it, and I was like, it's like you didn't even read the fucking book.
Like, what is it missing? Like, honestly, like, what's besides it's like, you know, centricism? Like, what is it really missing?
It's missing John Clark, because John Clark is a badass. Jack Ryan isn't a badass. Jack Ryan is smart. He hunts things down. I mean, he's kind of a badass, but like, John Clark is missing. And whenever they introduce John Clark, they make him Michael B. Jordan. And you're like, God fucking damn it. Like, no, that's not who John Clark is. But
because you're racist?
No, Idris Elba could be John Clark. Not Michael B. Jordan.
Is he too young and beautiful?
Yeah. I don't know.
You're just racist. It's fine. That's okay.
Yeah, that's probably it.
The only Jack Ryan movies I've seen are Hunt for Red October and The Sum of All Fears.
That's a good one. But Sum of All Fears is okay.
I know it's a nuke that goes off at a football stadium. It's all I remember. And Ben Affleck is Jack Ryan. Okay, no.
Patriot Games is good.
I didn't see that one.
Clear and Present Danger is good. Even although Willem Dafoe is not my John Clark either. Like, what the fuck?
Hashtag not my John Clark.
I was a Navy SEAL.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I always go in. I'm gonna watch every fucking Clancy adaptation because it's just I keep hoping, but I'm not holding my breath anymore. The Terminal List did a Clancy film better than Clancy films ever did. So
I didn't finish it, but from like watching what I had to watch to edit your podcast, like got taken down by goddamn YouTube.
Fuck you, YouTube.
That was a very entertaining show.
Yeah, it was good.
So, speaking of disappointment and things you love, I'll go to mine really quick. The Sandman.
Your waking world is shaped by dreams. Dreams and nightmares that I create and which I must control.
I am a huge...
Mr. Sandman.
So, it's my favorite author of all time is Neil Gaiman, and he and I think it's Gary Keith wrote some of my favorite graphic novels of the Sandman graphic novels. They're amazing. They're like perfect novels of mythology and horror, fantasy, and just action, all this stuff. They're amazing. He's an amazing author. And they've been talking about for years of making this into a movie. And then they said, oh, TV show. And then they said, Netflix is going to make it into a TV show. I was like, oh, no.
No. The people that killed The Witcher and made Henry Cavill quit movies?
So I knew I just can't watch anything that's I love being made into a film or an adaptation because I'm usually good at separating the two, but I just get my hopes up. So it's not terrible. It's just, I think this is a hard show to do because it's called The Sandman, but it's not about the Sandman. It's about the Sandman's boring as shit. He's a boring asshole that he learns to be human because all the characters he interacts with, he's an asshole god, basically. He's an asshole god who gives up on everything in humanity, and he's learning his humanity again. So all the little characters are what make it interesting in the story plots and interesting because he's an asshole. And in this one, I guess they make him an asshole, but they picked Tom Sturridge, which I don't know who he's from, but he plays Edward from Twilight. He plays a moody, emo, like Sandman, and I think that works in a comic book, but watching a grown-ass man act like an emo, like My Chemical Romance character is laughably bad. So I don't think taking these ridiculous, huge fantasy things and trying to truncate it into hour-long episodes, it doesn't really work. So whatever. The best episodes, honestly, are, I think they release like 9, and then they release a special episode, which is the 3rd book. It takes 2 of my favorite stories from the 3rd book. And one of them is animated, which works because it's about cats. Because you can't have cats like live action because you have the movie Cats and it'll look like dog shit. And it also takes this really, really dark story and makes it, and they have nothing to do with the Sandman themselves, and that's why it's so good, because the Sandman's the most boring part of the Sandman trilogy and like the whole series. So those 2 episodes are really good, but anything that revolves around him, he's like boring in one note. So man, I recommend you read the series. It's my favorite graphic novel series of all time. It's gorgeous, it's amazing, it's thematic, but TV shows, whatever. If you like it, cool. People get really mad 'cause it's really, like woke and like what do you call it? Inclusive. And that shit does not bother me. Like I don't care. Like if you care about the color of a character or their sexuality, I think you're missing the bigger point. I think the bigger point is it looks like dog shit, and they take the biggest like themes and they just make them stupid. So whatever. That shit doesn't bother me. What bothers me is you take these really cool ideas and make them stupid.
Right.
Whatever.
It's kind of like my issue with we'll talk about Netflix here in a second. My issue with James Bond, where they had the female 007, and I really, really liked her. I was like, the issue isn't that James Bond has a female counterpart he's competing with. The problem is you fucked up James Bond. Like anyone, the fact that she's there is not the issue. That's actually fun. I like the idea.
Yeah.
The issue is you obviously don't like James Bond, so the rest of the movie is the problem. Like, Netflix. This is the year that Netflix, like, looked you in the eye and aimed a gun at their knee and went, "I'll do it." And you're like, "No, don't do it. Why?" And they went, "I'm gonna do it." Bang! And just like shot themselves in the fucking face. Like, they took so many beloved IPs, and Amazon's not out of the woods either. But Netflix has demonstrated that they don't know how to put on their own shows. I thought they did, and it turned out that they can't. They took The Witcher, and like, The Witcher's an easy one because obviously all the drama around Henry Cavill quitting, being like, "Fuck this noise, I'm out." Like, and then them being like, "Well, he was a misogynist pig anyways." And you're like, "Okay, we get it." Like, Netflix obviously is done. Like, they can't figure it out because they consistently do this to all their shows now. Every show, they fuck it up. And it's the writing staff that they keep going to or something. Or it's endemic. It's like systemic. It's within the organization that is actively crushing their shows.
I think all these big streaming services we thought were too big to fail, but like, I think eventually things slow down and then they start panicking. So
Yeah.
when they blow their wad on The Witcher, they've spent so much money on The Witcher and Stranger Things,
Which already wrote itself.
Yeah, but people, like actually producing it and doing all this, it's expensive to do fantasy. It's why no one fucking does fantasy anymore.
Yeah.
Besides them and Amazon, or on HBO. But like, so I don't know. I think Netflix slowed down for a little bit, but I think it's gonna pick back up again. But like, I don't know. I think the problem is they're trying to contain stories, images, and personalities of these actors and directors and writers and all their different and arguing opinions. And they just pick a side and like play, oh, hope to God you pick the right person to back and not shoot yourselves in the face, what they kind of do all the time when you take the nerd cred of Henry Cavill and kind of spit in its face and say, well, you lost your entire group who's going to follow it.
That's my thing about The Witcher, is when you buy The Witcher, right, and you're saying, I'm going to make a Witcher series, who are you selling it to? You're selling it to the people that already know what The Witcher is. And when you put, oh, Henry Cavill's going to be the guy, you have already chosen your audience, right? Mm-hmm. Then to actively be like, we're going to fucking annihilate that audience. We're going to run them through the ringer. You like the story? Fuck you, we're changing it. Oh, you like the actor? Fuck you, we're changing it. Like, so you're counting on those nerds just like nodding and being like, well, I'll just take what I can get. And what we've learned from internet culture is they will not. And Netflix is learning it the hard way.
Well, they can't win. That doesn't matter if they take Dave Chappelle's side or they take someone else's side. They can't win, so it just kind of is what it is, man. You're just like fanning the fires of it all.
What I think you need to do is if you're gonna run a show, regardless of what you're choosing, if you're gonna do Sex and the City, you are pandering to the people that want to see that. So pander to them.
Yep.
Don't insult them. Don't change what they want to see, you know? And if you're going to do The Witcher, make the fucking Witcher. Don't change it. Adapt it. Like, know your audience and pander to them. Like,
this is from the person who hates Marvel and Star Wars and calls it all pandering, but pandering, goddamn it, what's your thing?
But no, that's the problem, is Marvel stopped pandering. They started insulting their audience.
They're pandering, trust me.
Well, they're not doing it hard enough.
They are still making money. You are so delusional. Okay, I got an argument with Corey and I are talking about this. Our friend Corey from Big Dumb Movie was saying Shane's wrong about the Star Wars thing. I'm like, I know he's wrong because Shane just says shit and doesn't think. Star Wars and Marvel are not losing money on this. They're still making tons of fucking money from Disney.
Not as much as they want to make, though, which is the key.
It's never ending. But they have so much money they're making off of this.
Like what they measure as failure is different.
It is, but that's what they're doing. All these TV shows are cheaper to make than it is to make the movies, which is weird to me. But that's they're making tons of money off of their streaming. They might not making the box office money that they were, but they're still making tons of money from the streaming services.
Yeah, but I would argue that the return is becoming less and less. So they're still in the green. Obviously, they're not going bankrupt. But the return is getting less and less, and that's causing panic because they're based on a model that has to make more and more.
Yeah, but they're also like bloated. Like okay, goddamn.
Like I would argue if they make another Star Wars, it will not make the money that like The Force Awakens made because people are fed up. Now, obviously, there's a core group that will, and there's enough of that core group that it will make its money back.
Well,
like I was wrong. Avatar made $1 billion.
Yeah, well, I also think like people are loving this Andor show. I'm not gonna watch it because I don't care. But once again,
I don't give a fuck.
It's cheaper and there's not a big risk. It's a lower risk, and it's getting a smaller reward, but it's safer for them to do it. I don't know if they're gonna do more Star Wars movies because
they will. They're just letting it die down a little bit.
Yeah, I don't really know. I don't really care. I don't fucking care. And you spent 20 minutes talking about this, and I'm really pissed off.
What were we talking about?
The Boys Season 3.
The Boys Season 3.
There's something wrong with Homelander. There's something broken. He's lost his fucking mind.
Love Mommy, Daddy, and Wooooooow.
Yeah! Talk about bloated and awesome.
I don't remember it that much because I think
it was a while ago.
Yeah, because you and I talk about this in text, and The Boys is a fun TV show that needs to end.
Mm-hmm.
I think one more season and it needs to end. I think it's run out of its steam of one, shocking. You can't shock me anymore. Your crazy fun orgy is hilarious to me, but it doesn't really shock me. I get it. But I think you're running out of character ideas because they're really getting into which I like the small characters getting into the side characters plots, but it shows the end. I'm seeing I'm seeing the end pages here. It's getting to the end, so it needs to end before it bloats itself too much. It's still fun, and I enjoyed it. The adding Jensen Ackles was an excellent addition to his his Captain America. If Captain America was real, is pretty fucking awesome. I
He's
loved it.
fucking awful.
Yeah, he's Captain America. It's kind of perfect, and so that was really really fun. Where he likes to fuck old ladies and smoke weed. He's paranoid. And
he hates black people.
Yeah, we laugh, but it's awful. But because it's a good satire still. It's doing a great job making fun of the superheroes, but it's getting its peak. It's reached its peak and needs to taper off and go. But I think it has to now with Billy Butcher basically having a clock countdown. So
yeah.
So it's good. It's fun. I don't have much to say about it besides I'm still enjoying it, but it's like they keep why Homelander has not just murdered them all it's getting a little too much to a point where come on, he's literally saying make America great again and doing terrible shit and people are cheering for him so he can do whatever he wants. So we're at that point where he's going full Trump. I can do what I want to and no one can say no to me. So it's come on, I get it. It's funny to an extent, but it's not getting grading, but it's I got it.
Right. What I would describe it is you get the first season, obviously you get introduced to these characters and that's your make or break, right? Mm-hmm. Butcher is obviously a very fun character to watch and he's a great person to follow along. He's not Han Solo, but he's like that Han Solo where he's not the main character, but you're there because you really, really love him. And then you have what's his name? The fucking main character, Grody? No.
Fucking Huey.
Huey, he's the one that this whole arc is going to be around, right? He's the hero's journey. The problem that you run into in season 3, and season 3 is still good, is these characters have now had things that happen, Butcher's going to change. But the story's not very fun if Butcher loses who Butcher is. You have to end it when Butcher changes. So we're circling because they're Butcher's changing. Well, that's no fun. Make him act like an asshole again. Okay, we're back to the old Butcher. They cut themselves at the knees to stop the character growth because once the characters grow, the story's over.
Yeah.
That's really so they have to end it. If they don't end it, same with Homelander. You go oh, here's the moment. Okay, no. Oh, here's the moment. Okay, no. They have to finish it. It's reached its crescendo, and if they extend it past season 4, it's not going to be good.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I hope they gave themselves a timeline, so I'm sure it's going to be done. But it's still entertaining. It's still fun. The Boys is still. It's 10 episodes and it's enough, and it comes around once a year at the perfect time. And I'm okay, I'll get back into comic books or superheroes for a minute, and I'll say, here's The Boys, and then I'm I don't need to watch anything with capes and spandex for a while. Give me more misery and sexual abuse. Come on,
more Macedonian witches, please.
Yeah.
Fuck!
Christ, Soldier Boy.
Soldier Boy, tell.
Speaking of Macedonian torture, let's get into our least favorite movie of the year. We saw this
might be of the last decade.
Yeah, and I think it's terrible by design to an extent. But before we get into it, do we see it because of your birthday? I think this came out
something like that. Yeah.
Let me see when this came out. Hold on.
We did it because we were all getting together and we thought it'd be funny to see Drunk and High. Yeah. Because let's just say what our expectations were. I expected it to be a Tenacious D-esque horror film.
Yeah.
Like Tenacious D and friends trapped in a mansion with ghosts or a murderous spirit that, possesses people.
Yeah.
And there's going to be rock music and famous people, and it's going to be campy and funny, right? Yeah, I didn't expect an Oscar winner. I didn't expect the best horror film ever. I expected that Pick a Destiny kind of feel.
Instead, we got Studio 666.
This is not just a creepy rock and roll house. It allows spiritual entities to cross into our world.
What the fuck? Dave Grohl's been possessed. Now he's on a murderous rampage.
Ronnie, what is Studio 666?
Do you want me to tell you what it really is, or tell you the plot of the film?
Let's start with the plot.
It's the Foo Fighters, starring the Foo Fighters, rent a spooky haunted house to write a new album in. They get possessed, and then Dave Grohl kills all his bandmates, and it ends with Dave Grohl with scary eyes.
And Whitney Cummings is in it for a little bit.
Yeah, she's hot.
She's hot.
It's, you know what the problem is? It's not funny. And
no, it's not funny at all. Even its jokes are awful.
Horror comedies get a lot of pass because if they're funny, you kind of forgive the silly premise or the goofiness of it all. Okay, so we saw this, I think it was for Shane's birthday. So we did an in-person podcast, and we said, let's get really trash and go to the movies. And we did, and we went with one of Shane's friends, and I was so mad like the entire time. It was just like, it wasn't funny at all. It wasn't scary. It was like cheaply, poorly made. And then Shane's friend, David, was there, and at one point David laughs in the film. I looked at him and said, "Are you kidding me?" And he goes, "It's funny." I'm like, "Don't dare laugh in this film." That was the funniest part of the movie, was me getting
and then
mad
they fought.
Yeah, me and David getting mad and yelling at each other in the movie theater for how not funny this movie was.
Don't laugh at that. That's not funny.
But you fell asleep in the movie, actually.
I did. I slept through a good part.
It was awful. So basically, it's a joke, and it's not funny because nothing is taken seriously. And I watched an interview with Dave Grohl describing this film, and this was just pieced together because of COVID. Like literally, because like in real life, their latest album they made in the haunted house, and Dave Grohl literally says, "Oh, we had extra time and money, so we made a horror film." I'm like, oh no. I wish I knew that beforehand. And it's also kind of sad because he murders his drummer, and his drummer died like a month later. So it's also kind of sad too on top of it all. Yeah. So this is like the worst movie of the year. And like you said, Tenacious D is stupid, but I laugh at Pick of Destiny. This movie is not funny.
Yeah, it's a horror comedy with no comedy or real horror.
It's a goddamn slog, and it's not funny.
It's too long. And like,
there's no script.
There's nothing. It's fucking terrible. What you expect from this is like famous people to appear, right? Like the Foo Fighters are in it, and I don't expect the Foo Fighters to be great actors. In fact, that should be one of the comedic points, is how bad at acting they are, Yep. But what you expect is like when Whitney Cummings comes, like you expect something funny out of her. There's nothing. Mm-hmm. And like, you expect famous people to show up, they'd be like, "Oh my God, Lance Armstrong," and then Lance Armstrong gets murdered on screen, and that's kind of funny, right?
And it's also weird because the Foo Fighters are not known for horror. Like Tenacious D is known for like over the top, ridiculous, like shows and characters and songs. The Foo Fighters are just kind of, rock. So putting them, these rock band, just in this horror environment doesn't really make sense. If it was Alice Cooper. If Alice Cooper was in a horror comedy, which I'm sure he has been.
Rob Zombie.
Or Rob Zombie, there we go. Or Ozzy Osbourne. It kind of fits the premise of it all. But Foo Fighters aren't really known for like devil worshipping and whatnot. And there's a whole like real story behind the real horror house. But it's not funny. It's not interesting. There's nothing about really music. It's just Dave Grohl being silly. And I like Dave Grohl. He wrote a really good autobiography. It's a really good, like, short stories. They're really good. I like him in general. This movie is not good. at all.
Yeah.
It's not even funny bad. It's like slog. It's an hour and a half, and it feels like 3 hours.
Yeah, it was so bad it made my love of Dave Grohl, and I went like, "Fuck you, Dave, fuck you." Like, I just obviously we addressed what could have fixed it is like taking a more Tenacious D approach where there's more. There wasn't even music. There wasn't even it was supposed to sell their album, so I'm like, oh, they're gonna incorporate. It's gonna be like a light musical, you know?
Yeah,
where they're gonna play music. They didn't fucking do that.
There's nothing creative at all. It's literally like, oh, what are you doing? We're gonna go rent the horror house. You shouldn't do that. You're gonna be haunted, or that's a waste of money. Oh, we're here now. What's going on? Oh, look, the writer's block. The box mood is spooky. Dave Grohl's eyes are silly. He's seeing cheap hallucinations.
They needed comedy actors, more involved.
They need writers because they wrote it themselves. They needed a comedy writers to actually write this, and it was made during COVID. And it feels like it was made during COVID. It feels cheap and terrible, and I don't want to talk about it ever again.
You're welcome, music.
Yeah, Studio 666. Fuck that movie. Let's talk about a movie we love.
Let's cleanse our palate with a beautiful sorbet. Shane, what's our penultimate film for our discussion?
This next film is about a chef. The world's greatest chef. And he will be serving tonight your misery and your problems. Serve to you, you pigs! And who the fuck are you? I'm Anya Taylor-Joy. Oh.
Is that gonna fit everyone?
Yeah, easily. 12 customers total.
How do they turn a profit?
$12.50 a head, that's how.
What, are we eating a Rolex?
Welcome to Hawthorne.
Here we are family. We harvest, we ferment, we gel.
They gel?
We gel.
Who are you?
I am Margot. Why do you care?
I have to know if you're with us or with them.
This movie's called The Menu, which is about a bunch of fucked up people, like the worst, the kind of people you just disdain, to include foodies. He was the worst, from the beginning, and there's a point to it. And then Anya Taylor-Joy, who plays, I guess the viewer?
Yeah. She's an outsider. She's literally, that's they call her, an outsider.
She is, and they all buy these super expensive tickets to this restaurant on this island, where it's basically an episode of Le Table from Netflix. And there's this chef who's played by one of our favorites, Ralph Fiennes. And he is serving what we go to find out his last meal.
Yeah. Don't say any more than that, because
I don't want to ruin it, because everyone always comes to me and they go, "Is that the movie where they serve people to them?" And I go, "I thought that too. Just go watch it."
Yeah, see, that's what I was worried, because I saw a trailer for it. I'm like, oh, this looks like my jam. It looks kind of weird and kind of creepy. But I didn't see it because I missed it in theaters. And then my mom said, oh, see, I asked her, I said, hey, is it about them eating people? And she goes, no. I'm like, okay, then I'll see it. Because that's what I was worried.
That's kind of how it's presented.
Yes. And because the original trailer is very cryptic, but then the second actual trailer is like, oh, is it going to be that dumb? And it's not that dumb. It's not brilliant, smart, but it's not as stupid as you think it might go. So it's tons of fun. I'm going to give a shout out to Nicholas Hoult, who plays the foodie. He's one of my favorite actors now. He's he plays Nicholas II in The Great, and I love him in The Great. He's just got great comedic timing. He's so always plays. He's full of himself.
Such a son of a bitch.
Yeah, but he's great in this, and he gets worse and worse. Anya Taylor-Joy plays the girlfriend who doesn't care about what's going on, and kind of gets dragged into all of this. And then Ralph Fiennes plays an evil genius, like he always does, because he's just the best villain ever.
So I'm gonna make a request, and you can cut it all, but I want to discuss this movie with you. So can we do a hey?
Here's a spoiler word. Go down to the bottom to skip.
Yeah, get out of here, because you shouldn't spoil it. But if you have seen it, have fun listening to us talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay. I love how it's set up at first because you know exactly what this is. You're like, okay, they're all going to be the most horrible people, the food critic, the Wall Street scumbags, the washed-up actor who's played by, I love him.
John Leguizamo.
John Leguizamo.
Quick shout-out. He was in Violent Night, that Santa Claus one I saw, and he's awful in that. He's good in this. He redeems himself because he is so awful in that goddamn Violent Night one. It's so fucking terrible.
So I really like the setup because you want a simple setup for this because you're still supposed to be guessing, is this a horror film? Is this a fucked up film? You know, like, so they keep the mystery well. They get to the island. You don't know who she is. You just think that she's kind of his girlfriend. Then you find out that like she isn't on the guest list. Yep. And everyone is like, wait a fucking second. That's not who's supposed to be here. And you find out that she was a last minute addition for him.
Yep.
Because he got dumped. So she's like obviously a rebound, which kind of off-puts her. But she's like, okay, shake it off, you know? Like,
which is also a prostitute. She doesn't really care.
Right, which we find out later.
We're spoiling it all, so I just want to jump ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. We get there, and then this is the first point where I go, oh, boy, this is people. Because they go to the meat house, and she's like, we aged the meat precisely 152 days.
Yeah.
And, like, it's creepy, and this island's weird. And then you get to the restaurant, and it's amazing. Because it's like the most pretentious foodie thing. Like, think a pig. Like, very pig-esque. And, like, but it's the best parts of that. Where it's like celebrating the art, but at the same time, it's like, up its own, like, this is stupid.
Self-aware.
Yeah, very self-aware. Ralph Fiennes plays your prototypical, like, awful chef, Gordon Ramsay-esque, who's like, I'm telling a story with my food. Where this movie got really good is, and I don't know, I'll give it to you here, is when he serves the bread. Or not bread, and she's just like, okay, what the fuck? This isn't smart, this is dumb.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, that's clever. And she's like, no, it's not. Where's the fucking bread? And I'm like, wait, yeah, where's the fucking bread?
That's the whole point is he's torturing the guest because it's an island known for their bread, and he's saying, fuck you, you don't deserve to have bread. He says ironically, he says, you don't deserve just bread because they don't deserve anything, because it's the whole point of it. But yes, that's when the movie is perfect for me. I think in the latter half, I kind of meh as much for me. The first half, it's really funny. It's very tongue in cheek. It's very like, oh, look how beautiful this is, and then it just kind of makes fun of all these people and all these things going on, the pretentiousness of it all, and then all these assholes get talked down to by like the waitstaff, and it's tons of fun to watch him just kind of ream these people and bring them in. And then it doesn't really work for me as a thriller because it's kind of like it's silly, because I like food, but it's so pretentious, it's kind of silly, but it's really funny. So the humor works for me, and then like the little messaging, and then like the whole idea of, you know, your art for your sanity. It's not worth it in the end of all this. So like, you understand Ralph Fiennes is crazy, but it's okay because they pushed him off the deep end. So it's like, okay, you forgive the silliness of it all because it's really funny and it's really well made, and the acting's great.
Oh, the acting is so good. I love the idea of, what if you went to a 5-course fancy meal designed completely to torture you?
Yeah, right.
Like mentally torture you.
Yeah, it's so pretentious and funny, but then it kind of has its cake and eat it too. And did you notice who one of the executive producers was on this? Because if you saw it, I thought it might change your opinion of the movie. Okay, is your best friend?
McGee?
No, it's Adam McKay.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. Well, he didn't have any part of writing it.
No, executive producer. So I think it was his film company, but it has that kind of dark comedy, kind of self-awareness to it. But it's not like Don't Look Up, where it feels.
It was too smart to be him.
Too pretentious. Yeah, it's good. It's a good movie. I I liked it a lot. I didn't think it was like the best thing of the year, but it was thoroughly fun, and I enjoyed just the silliness and like I like food in general, and also just all the actors. They're all just great actors put together to do acting things.
Yeah, and like Ralph Fiennes is perfect, subdued. And I love these little, it wasn't too long, these just good bites, you know what I mean? Like if I was going to describe it as a meal, it's just a great snack. Mm-hmm. The Northman is a meal. This movie is a snack. And you go like, God, that was good.
Yeah.
I do love like that Ralph Fiennes is like, he's so smart, you know, and he's the best chef ever, and he's tearing apart these people, but he meets someone that he doesn't have time to prep for, and who's just kind of a normal person, and he can't figure her out. He can't figure out people that aren't crazy.
Yeah, well, he's methodical, and he realizes who she is, but he's kind of testing her, but he has to improvise, and that's not his way. He doesn't improvise. Everything is so methodically planned out and perfect, so when she throws the monkey wrench into it, it's fun. But even though he has a backup plan, so she can't outsmart him fully. She connects to his, like you said, it reminds me of Pig, where it kind of like it connects to that emotional thing of food and art and craft, but then not to a point where it breaks the film, because Pig's a different movie. Pig is an emotional roller coaster that really dives deep. This movie has an emotional core, but it doesn't dive too much into it because it knows it's kind of silly, so you can't get too much into it. But it's excellent. It's well done.
Yeah, and like she being a normal person who obviously he hasn't interacted with just a normal person in a long time, gives him what he wants by just wanting a hamburger, and he's kind of like thankful, where he's like, you know what? Thank you. Here's a hamburger. Like,
I wanted to place the side bed and record input before, but I wanted to guess. So I'm assuming you watched the menu and you're probably inebriated. Did you get a hamburger afterwards?
I had 2 In-N-Out burgers, animal style fries.
I knew you would, too, because I was like, "Oh my god, I want a cheeseburger." It was
like,
too late at night.
Fuck, that looks good.
I know, right? I wanted the cheeseburger so bad after I watched that scene. I was like, "Oh god, I want to trash a cheeseburger."
I am not drinking currently, but I am getting high, so it's not really a sober January. It's just I'm not going to drink January. I'm not crazy.
High as fuck January.
I was high as hell watching this thing, and that was the only thing to make me hungry, because I was watching, and I spit out my water when I was watching. When the lady goes, I love foam. And I was like, oh my god, that's exactly how people feel at these things. We're like, oh, thanks for the salt foam.
It's okay.
No, we're gonna die tonight.
Yes, we are.
Happy birthday to you.
You told him it was my birthday?
Seemed funny about 3 hours ago.
Speaking of spitting out foam, let's get to our final film. So
I blame you for this entire fucking thing. And I watched it at 1.5 times speed, and it still was too fucking long.
Okay. So this is your first time listening to us do our end of the year podcast.
Fuck!
And our first one we did in 2020, we did The Fat Man. We did a little kind of deep dive onto a film. We did a little
so much better.
Then last year we did. Shane, do you remember the name of our last film from last year?
Remind me. I'm trying to.
Cuba Gooding Jr.
Oh my god, that not boxing film about a boxer that has sex with a minor.
Doesn't have sex with a minor. That's the
that's they rewrite it so he didn't do it. He didn't do it.
Bayou Caviar.
I forgot about that.
How do you forget about Bayou Caviar?
That was worse than this. I will say that was much worse than On the Line, and On the Line is fucking garbage.
This movie is boring. That movie is an entertaining nightmare of what the fuck is going on. This movie is boring until it's not. So every year I like to, while I'm watching films and going through my Amazon Prime always tells me recommended for you. And it's either terrible nightmare fuel that makes you feel bad, or B-movie trash, because it's all I watch. B-movie trash or nightmare that makes you feel bad about living and existing. So whenever they pop up, I add them to my list. And then the end of the year, when we do this, I give Shane a couple movie choices. And I send Shane the trailers. I sent him this Russell Crowe one called Poker Face.
I wish I would have done that one now.
Which is just as stupid, too. Or On the Line, starring Hollywood golden boy Mel Gibson.
All right, people. Settle in, relax. Give me a call. This is On the Line.
Are you ready?
I'm always ready.
We're expecting your calls. Talk to Elvis live on air and tell him about all of your issues and problems.
Okay, we got Gary on the line. What say you, Gary?
I'm gonna do something really screwed up tonight.
Can I say what I thought this movie was gonna be?
Yeah, tell us what you think it is, and I'll go through a quick premise of what it is.
Okay, so I watched the trailer, and at first I was like, "Oh, Poker Face, hell yeah!" Like Liam Hemsworth and Russell Crowe,
and RZA,
yeah, like, and he's like a famous poker player. But then it went into like, "I've trapped you all here," and I was like, "Oh, Jesus Christ!" I thought it was just gonna be about poker. I'm done. I'm out. And then I saw the trailer for this, and it was Mel Gibson, and he's like some radio jockey, which I was like, oh boy, like nothing like referencing something that doesn't really exist anymore. It's like instead of being a podcaster or something, he's he's a radio jockey. Okay, and
Mel
he's
Gibson
on.
Doesn't understand podcasts. That's why he's like, "What's a podcast?" Oh.
And he's like, yeah, and then like a killer or someone is calling from his house, being like, "I have your family," and I'm like, oh, that's kind of like. That could be kind of stupid and fun. Like, I loved Ransom, and I had Mel Gibson. And I thought that's what this was going to be, is like this thriller where he is actively negotiating with someone that has his family on the radio, while I'm sure some clever way he can't stop him until he figures it out. I was like, hour and a half, like, thriller to give me back my family kind of thing. Like, classic Mel Gibson.
Yeah, and to your defense, it actually kind of has the pacing of Ransom, because I remember Ransom, the first half is that, and the second half is like revenge, right?
Yeah, he hires bounty hunters to like. He's like, yeah, you'll be hunted forever. It's a good movie.
Yeah. I think it's a Ron Howard film.
But made by someone who knows how to make a movie, apparently, not this.
So what we did get is Mel Gibson, and the plot calls him a shock radio like DJ, and I was like, oh, are we getting like Howard Stern? Because I thought in my head maybe it'll be like a Don Imus or like a fucking Rush Limbaugh type character where Mel Gibson's just complaining about liberals and woke culture, which he kind of does but kind of doesn't, because he doesn't really spend too much time on that.
Yeah.
But basically, it starts off with the premise is Mel Gibson is a wonderful family man. He's got a wife that's way too young for him and a daughter that's also way too young for him, because he's like 75 and this girl's like 6. So you're like, okay, this is a family man film. Then it's like for some reason it's supposed to be a big show, but it doesn't tell you it's a big show. Then you're like, oh, by the end you're like, oh, okay, I get that's why it's a big show.
Yeah.
But Mel Gibson is like, he's tired of all, tired of, not having the good spot. There's a new rookie joining in the day. He has like this producer there. So it's like this, and to put on the big show, he takes like calls online and he says the real stuff to these people and gives them real advice and plays shitty 90s music and acts like people give a fuck about midnight talk radio. It's not a thing anymore. But then a caller calls in, and the caller is at his house, and he's holding him for ransom. And then he makes Mel Gibson basically tell the truth about some things going on in his life. He gets on the roof and tells him, you have to jump off the roof or I'm gonna murder your family. And then they realize they wrote themselves into a corner. So then they entirely rewrite the movie and starts over from there.
Oh my God, I know.
And then so after the first 30 minutes, it's basically kind of the ransom plot Shane's talking about. And then it becomes Old Man Die Hard, and it gets really slow and boring.
The oldest and cheapest Die Hard you could think of, where for 30 fucking minutes, 2 men wander around an office that they've already rented and just look in rooms.
and Mel Gibson is like fast walking out of breath, and it makes me laugh because he's like fucking 75. It's you're killing Mel here, and you paid him all the money because
God damn it, stairs again.
Because all the actors are foreign, so they're all paid for less than scale. They're paid for microscopic scale. They paid them nothing to do these terrible lines. So Mel Gibson, obviously, all the money went there, and they rented out some kind of law office or something because it all looks shitty and cheap, and it's supposed to play like a tight thriller, and it's a fucking bloated thriller. And then the entire time it does this most annoying thing where the bad guy is in the building all along, and he's literally doing the Joker, and he's like cackling and saying these super witty and fun things and playing cat and mouse the entire time, and it builds it up, and it's really fucking boring. So just for like behind the scenes, I watched it first, and I've been sick the past week, so I watched it, and I'm texting Shane. Shane watches it after me, and Shane's bitching to me. Like, it'd be more fun to just us read our text back and forth of Shane bitching about this movie to me than us talking about the film, but it's boring. It's really fucking boring, and then it gets to the ending, and that's when things change and makes me giggle. But before we get to the ending, anything else to add before we get to there?
It's got nothing redeeming.
No.
It like his lines are jaw-droppingly bad. Like you could improvise lines that were better.
Yeah, Mel Gibson isn't always known for his acting, but he's better than this. He's usually
way
fun.
Better.
He's just the old man growl where he doesn't care. It's like put in a little more effort because you know you're getting paid a couple mil for this, and you don't deserve it now.
It's written by someone that because they set him up as like a family man, right? Like he loves his family and stuff. And then he gets to work and he's a cocksucker. He's an absolute asshole with no like a drug addict asshole.
Yes.
And I'm like, wait, who's he? What?
But once again, once the premise is finally, pulls the rug underneath you, you're like, oh, you did this just to fuck with the audience because the entire movie is nothing in the end. But yeah, he's an asshole, so he's not redeemable. But you care because they're innocent people, right? Because you saw Mel Gibson spend 10 minutes with his family, so he can't be a total asshole, but he's an asshole. And then the entire premise builds him up to even be a bigger asshole than he is. This movie sucks. It's terribly shot. It's written by, I think he's French. He does French films, so this is like the
that
French
explains it.
The French example of like an action film. It's kind of like in like the 80s, all those B movies that like Italians and like and kind of like the Hong Kong filmmakers would kind of make to kind of not make fun of, but kind of do their own version of American action films.
I wish this was made in Hong Kong. That would have been badass.
It would be exciting at least. This movie's fucking bland. There is no action. It's all boring, and the problem is, it's once you figure out what's going on here, it's like, oh, that's why there's no action, because they couldn't do the action.
They couldn't.
Okay, Shane, I'll give it to you. I'll let you give the first twist, and I'll give the second twist.
The fact that you have to say the first twist.
Yeah.
Because even M. Night Shyamalan knows not to twist upon a twist.
Before we get there, when did you call it? At what point did you call it? The first twist. Did you?
I didn't know
you
this
weren't really
movie
paying attention. Right? You weren't really paying attention, so you probably didn't really notice.
And I didn't give this movie credit enough to actually have a twist in mind.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh, wow. Like, that's dumb, but good on you. And then I called how that would end, the first twist. And then with the second twist, I called immediately.
Yes.
I was like, oh, for fuck's sake.
No, the second one, I was like, it's not going to end on the downer, so there's no way. It's got to be for sure. And I called it when they did the 1, 2, 3 code. I was like, that is so stupid, and it's too stupid for a stupid movie. Stupid, so it has to be. This is all got to be a big old ruse. So Shane, tell us what happens. Mel Gibson stumbles his way up the flight of stairs, and we have the big face-off. What happens, Shane, when they're in the studio?
So they claim that his family's hooked up to a bomb, and then a random SWAT guy wanders in. And I was like, what? They sent one guy? Like, hey guys, I got the bomb. And that's when I was like, wait a fucking second. Like, it turns out it was all a ruse. It was all set up as a prank on the new guy. And the whole staff was in on it. And it was for the radio show. Like they would do on the new guy. And the new guy is just like, fuck you, this is fucked up. And we're like, yeah, that's pretty fucked up. And they're like, oh, come on, guy. Like, don't be a pussy. Like, it was funny. You thought my family was going to be blown up. Like, that's funny, right?
Yeah.
And then he falls down the stairs and dies, and you're like, oh, okay. Like, I knew that's how it was gonna end. I'm like, he's gonna like shoot himself, or he'll be dead, and then that'll be the whole message of the story is don't do elaborate pranks. And then the second twist is he's not dead. This has all been a ruse upon a ruse to say happy birthday to Mel Gibson.
Yeah. The problem when you do movies like this is when everything was all fake, it means it wasted your time.
Yeah.
It just means I wasted my time because it wasn't even exciting action. It was boring. So then everything makes sense. Oh, it's boring because you really can't shoot and kill people because it's actually fake. So then it's a whole like joke and a ruse. But then in that case, I'm like, oh, then I don't care about the stakes. I didn't care about it before, but then afterwards, you're like, I just wasted my time watching this, so it's fake. And then my question is, everyone knows it's a prank because he's known for pranks.
Yeah.
So no one would have ever believed it was real because, and even at the point where if you have like, who's it for? It's for the new guy, but it's not though, right? It's for the radio show.
I almost would have rathered, and I'd rather this movie just never had been made. But that Mel Gibson thinks it's a prank that he set up, but then it turns out that the guy that's running the prank actually hates Mel Gibson and is running it for real.
Yeah, that would be fun because then he would be questioning what's real and what's not.
Yeah, and like when he'd realize that, that's not fake blood, like, then...
Yeah. And also, it'd make him less of an asshole, too, because the entire time it's just like, oh, you're an asshole. So you're not redeemable and likable. So even in the first twist, when the kid dies and Mel Gibson's life is going to be ruined because he got someone killed, you'd care. But you're like, oh, you're an asshole. You get what you deserve. But I knew that was a fake because I'm like, there's no way this movie's going to end seriously.
And no radio station has enough money to pull that off.
No, it's done on the YouTuber is the one who basically plans it all out and does it for his YouTube channel. So he's got like the entrepreneur money. But like, it's really annoying because it kind of tells you it's fake from the beginning. Because at first you're like, why is he being chewed out by his boss? His boss tells him, you're not getting the proper numbers and your jokes go too far. So I get they're setting up the ending, but the entire time I'm like you're just wasting my time. And then they set up the whole Matt Dillon, he's an asshole. So it must be him. And they do the whole squeal like a pig thing. I'm like, but that doesn't make sense though because Mel Gibson gives the camera a look like, oh, Mel Gibson's figuring out who it is, but the new guy doesn't know that.
No,
he wouldn't make those connections. Like it should be the new guy solving the mystery, but
yeah.
But the point is the new guy is with Mel Gibson all along, and she's like, why? Like, oh, I get why, but it's like, why are you doing it to the kid? Like, it's just kind of fucked. And the irony is, and the irony of it all is the story's about don't fuck with people, but he fucks with someone, and then they say don't fuck with him, but then in the end it's like keep fucking with people. I wasted my time.
And they also should have been like, the year is 1995, so that the radio jockey makes sense.
Yeah, and back then Mel Gibson wouldn't be, blackballed.
Christ, I'm allergic to this fucking nonsense.
We ended our wonderful year of films by picking a terrible movie. It's called All the Line, starring Mel Gibson, not to be confused with On the Line, starring Lance Bass from NSYNC.
Or Walk the Line.
Starring alcoholic Johnny Cash.
I'm so glad that I watched The Northman after this so that I could forget everything. And now that you've made me remember Bayou Caviar. Ugh.
Yeah, this one's boring bad. Bayou Caviar is
incompetent bad. Yeah, it's
but
like...
it's also fascinating. Like really?
Yeah.
Really? This one's just boring bad, and then the ending is so insultingly bad. Like, oh my god.
This eye rolled, and I'm not joking. Like, I watched the first 30 minutes at normal speed, and I fast forwarded at 1.5 speed with subtitles, and I wasn't missing a thing.
No, that middle 30 minutes, well, all of it sucks, but the middle 30 minutes is really sloggy.
My God.
It goes on for a long time. Like, us reading our text messages back and forth would be way more fun. This is like, because I'm sitting there in my head knowing, like, I was asking you, what point are you in the movie? Because your anger just builds up and builds up more and more until it fully explodes by the end.
We're all listening.
Show yourself, you slippery son of a...
Yeah. Would you recommend people watch On the Line?
No, not even for fun. Just
not
don't
fun.
do it. Watch The Northman.
It might be fun if Dan doesn't listen to this podcast. If we make Dan,
if we can get Dan and tell him to just text us when he thinks of stuff, and then read his text messages.
That's about it. If you want to torture someone,
yeah,
you can watch it. But it's not funny bad. It's just boring bad.
So bad. It's not like The Room where you're like, what? Like,
no, it's more like, oh god, it's just like cliched trash.
It's like making someone watch Steven Seagal's new films. Or you're like,
where they're like, I don't like action in general, but if it's got good action, at least you can justify it's entertaining action. There's no action in this. There's no thriller. There's no likable characters. There's no theme. There's no redeeming qualities. There's nothing even cinematically interesting about it. It's just really bad acting made by a foreign director. I'm not putting down foreign directors, but when foreign directors try to make trashy American movies, they just make trashy American foreign movies.
Yeah, it's bad. Don't watch On the Line. Thanks, 2022. Oh, I didn't mention Halo. Don't watch that either. That's dog shit.
Did you ever finish Halo?
I got to where Master Chief has sex, and I was like, what the fuck?
I watched the 4 episodes that we reviewed on our podcast that no one listened to, and then I end my subscription because I was like, "You're done, right?" And you're like, "Yeah." I said, "Cool, I can go to Paramount Plus now."
Yeah, that was something.
What's funny is like that Halo is so bad, no one's talking about it.
Once again,
it's so boring.
Why didn't you just make it for the audience you knew that was gonna watch it?
Who cares? Okay, so overall, 2022 was a great year for films. We found some gems and some good ones. We bitched about some other ones, but I think overall was a quality film year. There's still a bunch I didn't get to see. I wanted to see Tar. I don't think I want to see The Whale with Fat Brendan Fraser because I'm just gonna feel bad for Fat Brendan Fraser. But I hope he wins an Oscar so that the world gives him his
due
desserts. I guess I don't know. He's not that great of an actor ever. Like The Mummy's fun.
He was good in Taps. No, it wasn't Taps. It was School Ties.
I don't know. Brendan Fraser is like Tom Cruise to me, where like he's serviceable and fun to watch, but I wouldn't call him a great actor. But everyone likes Brendan Fraser. Like he seems likable. Why not?
Hey,
cool,
he stood his ground and didn't have sex with that casting director.
Yeah, allegedly. Is there anything that's coming out next year that you're looking forward to for this year? Because this year it's already 2023.
Oh,
let's look up something. What's coming out?
What is coming out? I know there is stuff.
Dune.
Upcoming
Dune Part
movies.
2.
Oh, Dune Part 2. I haven't seen Dune Part 1, but I will. I will.
Dune Part 1's really good.
Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
Oh, that's one of those when someone bought the rights because Winnie the Pooh's public domain. And they're gonna do it there. They're gonna do they did like a knockoff violent. They went with the Grinch.
Deadpool 3 or 4.
No.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Fast and Furious 10.
Speaking of terrible movies, I saw Scream 5. That's like one of the worst fucking movies ever. Scream 5 sucks.
I'm right now not seeing any movies that interest me. It looks like a bunch of sequels.
You have a John Wick 4, and you have a Dungeons and Dragons movie.
Oh, isn't that supposed to be kind of comedic in a way?
Yeah, it's got Chris Pine, so.
I actually I saw the trailer for that and I was intrigued. I was oh, Indiana Jones 5, The Dial of Destiny.
That title is hilarious to me. They just released a trailer for Renfield. Did you watch that with Nicolas Cage and Nicholas Hoult?
No, but
Nicolas Cage plays Dracula and Nicholas Hoult, the one from The Menu and the fucking, what's the one I just talked about, the one on Hulu where it's about Nicholas II. That movie,
The
TV
Great
show. Yeah, the Great. Yeah, he plays Renfield. He has to like deliver all these dead bodies to him. He gets tired of it, so he goes like a support group for like toxic relationships. Check out the trailer. It looks pretty funny.
Oh, that was a movie I wish I would have saw this year. I think the Nicolas Cage movie was like being Nicolas Cage.
Oh yeah, I didn't see that one either. The Unbearable Weight of Success, something like that. Another Evil Dead movie coming out. That looks fucked up.
Are we gonna watch the Transformer movie together? Oh, Blade is coming out. They're making another Blade.
Yeah, it's a Marvel Cinematic Universe, Shane.
Oh, I like.
Oh, they have Mission Impossible. We'll probably see that. Barbie.
Yeah, wow. Not a stellar lineup. Oh, the Meg 2.
Nice. Oppenheimer. The Christopher Nolan one about Oppenheimer looks pretty good.
I'll give that a shot. I like Nolan. He's a little grandiose, but I mean,
well, like his movies like are always good. They're always entertaining, good. They're not like, like, oh my god, my life has changed, but like, oh, the Meg 2 that changed. Oh my god.
Yeah, oh my god. All right, well, so far not.
Oh, fuck this! They're making another Exorcist. They're getting David Gordon Green to fucking take who fucked up Halloween movies, and they're just doing another goddamn Exorcist. I'm so fucking pissed off. I love the Exorcist, and they're gonna fuck that up. Oh my god, I'm so mad right now.
Wow.
Well, another Willy Wonka movie with Timothée Chalamet.
Yeah, it does not look very good. The lineup here.
Yeah, I'm sure there's gonna be a bunch of art housey bullshit with full of rape and misery that I'll see. So I'll look forward to that stuff, but nothing big besides Dune 2.
Dune 2.
Dune, but okay, so we have a lot of great things for you to check out. Check them out from last year. We have a big podcast coming up in January. And after that, we're going to take a little hiatus. We'll probably tell you more as we get into the nitty-gritty of it.
Big plans for 2023. We're either going to be stars or duds.
Yeah, either this, you'll never hear from us again, or you'll only hear from us again.
Yeah. You sons of bitches forced us to do this by not giving us money, so now we got to go find a way to make money.
We got some ideas, but you're still here. Thank you for listening. We appreciate it. Please subscribe.
We're going to sell plushies.
Social media. Ooh, plushies. Like plushies that you can fuck.
Like every YouTube person ever. Buy my plushie.
Plushies you can fuck. We'll call them fuckies.
Oh, yeah. That sounds nice.
All right. But thank you. Subscribe on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter. Subscribe on YouTube. And that's about it. Keep listening. And Shane says he's going to start editing podcasts this year. So
yeah, I'm going to try. I put it on my New Year's resolution. Do one a month.
No one ever does that. Okay, but thank you. Shane, take us out of here.
Fuck you, 2022. You suck. All you brought us was more junk. Shabop, shaboop, shabop. To 2023.
Yeah.
To a better year. Less problems, right?
No, things only get better.
The war in Ukraine's only going to wind down, right?
Just like that civil war in Ireland.
You're fucking dull. I'm not dull. You're fucking dull, It's not a problem. You're just fucking dull.
We're just going to watch it in Bruges again.
You're a cunt. There we go. Now we're recording.
Yay.
Very good. This is going to be a good one.
Okay.
2020 or 22 actually made me a little happier. Probably because I just didn't watch movies that I didn't want to see.
Yeah.
Other than On the Line. And that one made me really, really mad. But all these other movies made me happy.
Oh, good. I saw
because I was gonna.
I saw like 70 movies this year, so I've seen a fuck ton of shit.
Jesus fucking.
And I'm gonna
Christ,
say,
man.
in general, like you said, I picked things I wanted to see, and there's a lot of good stuff that was out there. A lot of shit, but I'm not talking about the shit usually, except for.
I watched a lot of Rick and Morty.
I haven't seen the new season yet.
Dude, they're making a movie. And I think Dennis Quaid is gonna be Rick.
Oh no, that's a joke. That's like a live action.
It was a
I think it was
joke?
like a live action
Yeah.
episode, right?
Something, because like the Matt Stone and Trey Parker were supposed to be the writers for it, but they got fired probably for being Matt Stone and Trey Parker.
Oh, you know more than I do then.
Yeah, but I was like, Dennis Quaid? Hell yeah.
No one says hell yeah to Dennis Quaid.
This sounds like a shit show. Hey, if Justin Roiland and Dan Harmon are involved, it'll keep it somewhat on the rails. If they're not in total control, it's game over.
Yeah. So, remember when you were watching On the Line? I was texting you. I was trying to sleep. So I'm just been on cough syrup all week, and I was homesick. So I thought it'd be a good idea because I couldn't sleep because I've been sleeping so much. I was like, well, cough syrup's not working anymore. So I tried taking an edible with it. Oh my god, that was a big mistake.
Holy hell!
I was so paranoid and panicking. I was having like a panic attack. I was like, oh my god.
As I'm just like, this is awful. I hate you.
You're the only thing keeping me grounded in reality was your text messages about how terrible that movie was. 'Cause I was panicking.
Dude, that thing was next level. God.
It was.
Luckily, I watched The Northman right after
Yeah.
it, and that saved me.
I was gonna say you picked a good one to do afterwards, but that was great, and I was like delusional watching it. I'm like, I don't even know if I really watched what I watched, so I'll see if it's all a real thing or not.
It was all a dream. All right.
I'm sick.
Should I?
Give us our intro in here, and then we'll just do a brief discussion what we're doing, and then we'll just say we'll do a deep dive into the greatest movie made of 2022 at the end, and then we'll maybe do like a little any movies coming out this year we're excited for, and that's basically it.
It's me, Shane, and Ronnie, and the end of the year, well, beginning of a new year, wrap up of 2022.
Is this you actually starting this?
No. I'll do it again.
Come on. Give it some panache.
All right.
It goes on for a long time. Like, us reading our text messages back and forth would be way more fun. This is like, because I'm sitting there in my head knowing, like, I was asking you, what point are you in the movie? Because your anger just builds up and builds up more and more until it fully explodes by the end.
I'll pull it up. Here we go. Let's look.
Yeah, let's do this. Let's start. And if it gets boring, I'll cut this off.
Okay.
Okay, at 1:12, I said, well, you have to watch On the Line still. Nope, keep going.
Okay, so okay.
God forgive me.
All right, so I said, God forgive me. Take me away, Mel Gibson. You just say.
It's so bad.
I say. This is after a few minutes or so. I'm starting to go. Mel is too fucking old to have a 4-year-old. Kill me. Oh my God, who wrote this dialogue?
I said, it gets better. It gets boring after a while, but then it gets better.
What the fuck? I hate you. Like, this is so low for Mel Gibson.
I said, you picked it. We could have watched Fat Russell Crowe fight thieves.
Like, someone wrote this script, and Mel agreed. There has to be money laundering involved in the making of this.
I said, you fucking wait.
And then, wait, is his character an asshole now? Lol. What? I'm so confused.
And then I gave a wonderful Mel Gibson gif of him smacking himself.
So he's a family man, but an asshole. I wanted ransom.
And I
Yeah,
another
more
Mel
gifts.
Gibson gif of give me back my son.
And you say, what part are you at? And I go, Gary is holding family hostage, and we're dragging this talk on and on and on.
I said, has it become Die Hard?
And I go,
yet?
what?
I said, you have so much ahead of
I
you.
say, fuck me.
I added a Dr. Evil gif.
And then I just start sending messages.
Yeah, I was also trying to fall asleep and Shane kept.
And I go,
keeping me
wait,
awake.
this is the plot? A lady killed herself because he was mean? What is the message? This movie's like 20 years too late. A shock radio jockey? And then you send a GIF.
Baby, yeah.
And I say, is the bad guy Dylan? Oh, now it's Die Hard. Dear God. Or is Matt Dillon? I swear to God. I'm just...
That's a classic misdirection.
And I go, wait, now is it Saw?
Saw GIF.
And I go, 2 hours? Fuck!
I said, you better watch it all. And I gave him a very angry Mel Gibson.
And
GIF.
they go, oh my God, it's 30 minutes of wandering around. You go, wait.
Randy Marv GIF. Wait for it.
I go, for fuck's sake. It was really just a random guy.
And then Ryan Gosling GIF
I
laughing.
go, dude, this is the most low budget, low bullshit I wanted to. Oh, I'm a little high now.
Yeah, you're really high. You're misspelling everything.
One random SWAT guy wanders in with the bombs. What? What do you want me to do with these?
That's literally what the dialogue is said by this one.
This is what do you want me to do with these? He's holding bombs. I go, oh, for fuck's sake, I want to kill myself. You encourage me to kill
Jack
myself.
Nicholson GIF. Jack Nicholson GIF, nodding, kill yourself.
And then I go, this was the dumbest twist ever made or not needed. I want to watch Triple X. And I go, it was a double cross. The fuck did I just watch?
I said genius, and he tried to call me to be really angry at me, and then
You told me not to disturb me. I go, I hate you. And then obviously I'm watching The Northman because I go, Willem Dafoe's in The Northman?
And then things got better after that,
and then I was
you watched
happy.
The Northman.